bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series here at Fragnation in association with Ubisoft. Of course, I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me once again are the two boys, Bullet and Madness, as we are back for some more Rainbow Six Siege. But folks, this is the big one. It is playoffs season, as in to say, it's been going on for this week, and finally, we're on stream weekend. Bullet, Madness, I'll actually start with you, Bullet. How are we feeling tonight?
I'm definitely super excited because, of course, it is not going to be the upper bracket games that we're going to witness from the entire of the broadcast. It's going to be the lower bracket matchup between the side of Won't Stop Peaking going up against the side of AndroMeda Gaming. So it's going to be a little of that last run. Whoever loses out, it's going to be the end of tournament run for themselves. But yeah, talking about both of these teams, both of the teams, in my opinion, are pretty much stacked up against on an equalized situation, if you talk to me honestly, because we did got the stats, looking at the overall cost percentage, looking at the entire stats, does gives out a little bit of the difference that AndroMeda seems like a much more fast-paced team who knows how to attack and defend in some of these certain maps. But talking about the side of Won't Stop Picking Magnus, they are also a team when they are like put up against a wall, they throw some heavy hitters up against their opponent team as well, from what we have seen in the past.
Yeah, Won't Stop Picking is a team that you have to make, and the defense, the aggression that they show is pretty good as well. I think they ended up going down to Hasib Warriors in Qualifier 1, but coming into playoffs, they look pretty nice and dandy, but unfortunately find themselves in the lower bracket, right? So they have the one more life that they're going to be using today to see how well they can end up performing. But this is playoffs, guys. This is the end game for you to try and get as much money. If they do end up getting knocked out here, they still walk away with some money, but unfortunately won't walk away with anything else because they have to try as well as possible. But Blackjack, who do you think? Any predictions for this game?
Oh, you're throwing me right on the bus with that one. Predictions, Madness. Just as well as anybody else, I'm not the best at them, but I will give it my best shot. So, given everything we know so far between AndroMeda Gaming and Won't Stop Peaking, and given that I have kind of seen the players of Won't Stop Peaking for a longer time than I have AndroMeda, even though AndroMeda have been playing for a while, the players in that team, I should say, have been playing for a while in the esports circuit, I would probably still say that it's maybe a 2-1 to Won't Stop Peaking. I know. Caster saying we're going to go to map 3. What else is new, ladies and gents? But I want to honestly give it to Won't Stop Peaking, but then again, it is a
Blackjack?
I guess there have been some technical difficulties and we are not able to get the audio from Blackjack. But I guess we definitely decided about that. Me and you were talking about, you and me, Madness and you. Madness and me, sorry. We're talking about the fact that this can go all the way up to the decider play. But hey, talking about the prize pool, of course, the entire prize pool of this tournament is going to be the 3 lakh Indian rupees. The first place team will take home the lion's share of the prize pool, which is, of course, the very big chunk of 1 lakh Indian rupees. The second place team will take home 60,000 worth, 60,000 INR. Third place team will take home 40,000 INR. Fourth place, respectively, 30,000, and fifth, sixth, 25,000, and seventh and eighth, 10,000.
Yeah, the 7 and 10,000. That's what we were talking about today. Blackjack, we still can't hear you, but unfortunately, we will get that result. Yeah. But talking about today, losing out that 7th and 8th place, unfortunately, someone will be going home tonight, and whoever does at least still leaves with that 10K, like you're talking about. So let's see how well it goes. So we just saw AMG play just in the last qualifier itself, so we have quite a bit fresh in our memory of how their play style is. Won't Stop Peaking will be making a return after qualifier 1, and talking about that, this is the tournament format before you. The way we reached your qualifiers 1-7 to 14 September, qualifier 2 between 28th to 5th September. 4 teams from each 4 plus 4, that equals 8 teams that came up. Then the top 4 qualified for the playoffs from each qualifier. That's what we're talking about. The 8 teams come in. Then the playoffs started. Guys, today's not the beginning. It already started on the 6th. We're going to be starting off the broadcast with the lower bracket round 1, and it is going to be a best of 3. Then the top 2 teams. That's the most important thing, guys. Alongside that prize, when we talk about the top 2 teams qualify for the APAC Cup Asia qualifier as well. So another route into international gameplay available for our fellow contestants today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's certainly quite the overall challenge for all these teams, right? Because at the end of the day, getting into top 2 top 2 for the APAC Cup Asia qualifier, that's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of grind, and a lot of sweat at the end of the day. But that is what we're here to see. That is what we are here to find out. And yeah, that's what I'm excited to get into. I do apologize for the production difficulties earlier with my microphone audio. Still not exactly sure what happened. Everything's plugged in on my end, so who knows? Hey, for all I know, it could be the lightning strikes happening across the city from me. But with all that said, we are in the playoffs, folks. This is the first weekend of playoff streams. Of course, there's one more weekend of this to go, and that's next weekend, which will be the semifinals, or upper bracket final, or lower bracket final, if you want to call it that, and the grand finals. Since we're talking about the brackets, let's get into it. The brackets so far for this entire South Asia Elite Series. Bullet, walk us through it, please.
Yes, sir. If you talk about the side of Sea Warriors, they faced up AndroMeda Gaming in the best of 3 in the bracket quarter finale. Up till then, as you can see, even the previous matches that we have got, Sea Warriors have been a force to be reckoned with. Now, talking about some of the teams as well, we did have the side of Wont Stop Peaking going up to the side of Ru, and Wont Stop Peaking lost in a 2-0 map score. And now they have to face up the side of AndroMeda Gaming in the lower bracket round number 1, as we have talked about some of the ones as well. Which is, of course, going to be on the next matchup tomorrow. Q's Esports will face up the side of Deadeye Esports. I'm a little bit shocked. Not shocked, apparently. Actually shocked. To see a team like Deadeye Esports coming in the lower bracket round. They went up against the side of Team Uwu and lost with a map scoreline of 2-0. Not about the exact map scoreline, but Deadeye Esports, some of the players coming in from their team are some of the real veterans of the scene. So I'm kind of surprised to see the map scoreline though. But for today's game, folks, as we all know, AndroMeda Gaming facing up the side of Wont Stop Peaking. I do have a little bit of interesting stat. We did had one of the players from the side of AndroMeda Gaming last time in the broadcast when we had the quarter finale, that a lot of these players are actually very old when it comes down playing the game. They are playing the game probably from I guess year 4 or year 3, apparently, from what I remember talking to one of the players here on the broadcast when we had the interview session, Blackjack and Madness. And they also told about the fact that the team is very much formed relatively new compared to what some of these other teams are. Of course, a lot of these teams right now battling out in this tournament are not able to find the time to play scrims, as Blackjack used to be the usual case back in the golden days of our South Asia Seeds community, that players were always screaming against each other. Players was always discussing the strats and some of the Discord community servers. But right now it's everybody just busy in their work life, busy in their idle gigs, and this time around it comes down to the fact that how they are just able to momentarily pick out those pocket strats up against their opponent teams and play on the quick decision making process. But for now, folks, talking about the overall map picks as we had on our screens at the moment, the first map will be getting picked up from the side of AndroMeda Gaming, and of course it will be the side of Border. The second map is going to be Night Haven, which has been picked up by the side of Won't Stop Peaking, and the Clubhouse is going to be the third one. If we are able to see that one, it is going to be the side of Clubhouse. So I'm really excited to see again Night Haven coming into the mix and Clubhouse coming into the mix, because we all know, Blackjack, how Border has turned out to be the second, I would say, the version of Oregon in our region, to be frankly speaking.
Well, actually, I would not go that route, but I would actually say Clubhouse and Chalet have taken over that place recently, because Border, especially in the Elite Series so far, hasn't really been played as much as I would personally have liked to have seen, right? It may have been played in off-stream games, but definitely not on-stream. And tonight, I believe, is one of the very few times we're getting to see Border in front of our eyes tonight, folks. So with that said, thank you, Bullet, for joining us for that analyst segment. And Let's get into it. It's going to be me and Madness taking you through this first map here, folks, as AMG and WSP, they get their bans underway, and this is interesting. Of course, the Ace and Blackbeard bans, not really surprising right there. The Azami as well, industry standard to start us off, but then you have the Valkyrie ban, and on a map like Border, I actually really agree with this. Valkyrie has shown, even after the Border map buff slash rework slash whatever you want to call it, even after it happened, she has shown that this map in particular is one of her best without reservation, right? So banning her outright means you're not getting pigeonholed into picking IQ, and you have a lot more freedom in getting the operators you want for this attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like you're saying, yeah, you don't have to bring in an IQ. The Valkyrie's planned out. You can plan out even more accordingly. But talking a bit about some of the operators that pick, we brought in the Thermite because Ace has gone away. No, Ivana, but the Thermite is that you're going to walk up to the wall if you want to try and open it up. The Buck is there to cause nuisance from below if he wants to. You have the Grim that's been so, proactive in most of the rounds we see. Bringing in a Grim can change the outcome of rounds. You can just, put people in corners, flash out locations. You can do a lot depending on how it goes, and Andy Cobra is going to be going back to what he loves. That's going to be the Rumi. We're going to see Buckinator coming alive with the Legion that he also does prefer. But Vinci has got the Capcom, so you have to be careful on the drone frames. You don't have the accuracy. You don't have to manually check or check through drones depending on how you want to go about it as you head in over here. But they'll be starting off the round, nothing special, no spawn peaks of any sort. You're fast scaling, coming fast traveling. A lot of pre-fires to the door, not going to connect. Sasuke's just going to try and open it up for his team as we head on. Round number one, a bit on the slower pace, given what both these teams like to play like.
Although I totally understand why that would be the case, right? It's the first round of the entire BO3. You want to take this slowly, but meanwhile, looks like Jaeger, Turv, is not going to be doing that. He is getting a little antsy here on the security room door, and of course, that is a pretty common run out here on Border, always has been. So it's not a surprise that someone's running out that part of the map. What's more of point of concern is that they don't get taken out. Mike, in the meanwhile, is going to take a ton of damage right now, but is actually going to get the first kill. That's Buckinator off the board. Legion gone. So whatever few goo mines, maybe 2, 3, or 4 were already placed, those will be all that's left. And Legion's snowball utility for the rest of the round will not be the case, but Cobra comes around, swinging at that wide door of office. Manages to find Mayank. A good return kill right there, as that's your Grim gone. And we've seen just how oppressive Grim can be the later it gets into a round. First Logic Bomb goes out from Dokkaebi, as it will not really affect too much of the positionings of the defenders, but some shots are fired as a security room has slowly been overtaken, and the breach on Armory Wall is about to be done.
It should be. The MP goes in. You have the Thermite opening it up. Now behind half wall, that's exactly where the smokes want to sit. Or if he actually tries to get any peak damage, nothing. Dokkaebi is trying to fight it away. Thermite's close on the door. They still have to flush him out. They're going to be droning him out just to be sure about it. And there's the bulletproof program. The MP comes in from the Dokkaebi. They're trying to go for the swing. And then from Africa, you can see the Jaegers just sitting there patiently. The head is seeing the pre-fires coming, but it's a bit too late for Shaitan because the reposition has come in from Jaeger. He's gone to the right side. He's going to take some more time, but he still ends up going. Shaitan finally gets the kill on the man who's sitting in Africa so long, but the guy behind the half wall is still alive. The C4 comes in, not going to connect. In the meantime, Sasaki from below gets the kill onto Desmond. That's the Buck coming into effect. One by one, WSP are falling. There's 2 members alive. Make that 1 member alive. A double kill for Shaitan. Enrico Branden's falling only up to Vinci. Vinci prefires to the wall. Wallbang's not going to get 3 members in front of him. He gets the down on the Buck, but that bad rat ends up picking up the final kill onto Vinci. Vinci did get the knock, but it's not enough. The injure doesn't survive with the kill, doesn't get them the round. AMG going to take the first round of map number 1.
I love that final collapse into the site through the armory breach right there. Of course, a couple of mistakes from Won't Stop Peaking. They once again got a little impatient, but then again, that's something we've talked about with that team for a long time. It's the fact that they get antsy, they get impatient, they start peeking when, especially on defense, you really don't need to. Yes, there's 2 people on the breach, maybe more, but you've got a deployable cam right by half wall. You've got somebody in half wall. And of course, Athurv, who was playing Jaeger in the last round, he was right by the bomb chassis, next to, once again, that entry point. Plus, excuse me, Aruni, I do believe, who was playing around the small room doors / metal detectors. So again, yes, your presence in security and CC or waiting room was taken away early on, and yes, that does mean that pretty much half the map is given away to the attackers. But Fountain hadn't been lost yet, as to the best of my knowledge. Fountain and offices were still fine. Archives was not under pressure, and it really was just a case of a Turv peeking too early, Sasaki going below with the buck and taking out half wall, right? That clear was actually what was really important. And to be frank, half wall should have tried to evacuate at least earlier on, maybe, unless there was no time to do so, no chance to do so, in which case that's just being outplayed, and that's not much you can do about, right? And then, of course, it just kind of fell apart from there when you have a 2v4 and you've got multiple attackers converging on you from the breach, from metal, from the hallway of offices. So with that said, round number 2, we're going back to the same side, of course, second floor armory. No surprises right there, but they have brought in actually a lot of anti-breach. Last round it was mute, but this time they've gone the full electricity route of Kaid and Bandit. So they really don't want these walls to be open. And that is, of course, a lesson learned from the previous round, right? They got the breach done, the attackers, that is. And we saw what happened from there. So deny the breach and hopefully win the round. That is the thought process, but something has indeed been breached on the other side. Might have been the wall of Fountain, as that is the one thing I don't think was fully electrified. Regardless, if Fountain is taken over, then Archives is going to be the point of contention here for the defenders. So Won't Stop Peeking, they will need to divert resources, and it looks like AMG are trying to get into Fountain as quickly and as powerfully as possible.
They are trying, but there's a couple of changes coming in. Mayank will be taking up the Ash instead of the Grim coming in for himself. But I don't see what else can go wrong for them. They've opened it up quite nicely for themselves, depending on how the situation is. Smokes are coming out, but it's going to delay. That's the double electricity. You just heard the stop of that thermite onto the wall. That is the sound of one thermite charge going up into Smokes. But in the meantime, Dabrat gets a kill onto Buccaneer, and that easily the plans going down from Shaitan. Dabrat gets another onto Vince. He gets a third onto Endigo, that's a triple kill coming in for this man. Unfortunately, he ends up going down. The handiwork of the guy in the corner. He's running the SMG. He's not even running the shotgun. DMR that we like to run. The double kill has been picked up by him. Getting a kill onto Hell. A triple for him as well. It looks like a resurgence in the round for WSP. It's a 2 versus 2. He's swinging the corner. The pre-fires that the bullets do not connect fully. There's a lot of flames in front of him. He's going to take damage if he walks up. Desmond is there as well, but Desmond's low on HP.
Oh,
they
no.
end up going. That's Desmond actually getting a team kill over there. He peeks. He's low HP. Shaitan with a long angle gets the kill. WSP looked like they were trying to come back into the round with the early triple killing coming in from that bad rat, but unfortunately couldn't make it up in the end. It's the own Goyos playing against them that made sure they couldn't actually secure a round, and AMG takes 2 in a row.
Mistakes were made. Although this time, I can't really fault Won't Stop Peeking too much. They definitely gave it a much better shot than they did in the previous round. They had a far better overall, I would say, defensive philosophy. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for them, and that is, again, just the optics of the situation, right? The Fountain area should have been held a little bit more. Although I think what happened this time for Won't Stop Peeking is that they thought, all right, they've done the breach, they've done the entry through security, so let's kind of stay in that area, stay inside of Armory, and see what we can kind of do from there. They played close to sight, or pretty much inside the entire time. Unfortunately, no one contested the east stairs, right? Because with this version of Border, there is that little hallway on east stairs that encompasses that same fountain wall that the attackers broke, right? So this is more sort of props to AMG's droning and overall coordination that they were able to get in, they were able to get drones in and quickly establish that, hey, no one's stopping us from breaching Fountain. And so they made that plan and they executed that plan very quickly. The only roadblock they had before the plan went off was the thermite charge getting Bandit tricked, right? And that kind of tends to happen. Bandit on a single wall, no one down below contesting him, and there's only one exothermic remaining. Yeah, that was going to happen probably 9 times out of 10. Regardless, they pivoted, went to Archive's door, Buckinator fell trying to probably hold it, and the plant happened. Aturv, God bless their attempt there, the 3K, really almost pulled it back. Unfortunately, after that, it was just the team really scrambling to find any kind of ground to stand on and rapidly losing all of it. With that said, of course, it means a 2-0 score to AMG is now in play. Of course, we are looking at a unfortunate series of disconnects, and looks like we might have to go for a rehost here, folks. Maybe potentially. The timer is paused right now, and as soon as we get some information, we will let all of you know. But for the time being, of course, that gives us a little bit of a moment to digest what has happened in the first 2 rounds. Of course, it's a best of threes first 2 rounds, so not much has happened in the grand scheme of things, but as we kind of talk about or think about what we saw so far, it certainly gives us food for thought as
Mhm. Hello, Blackjack. Um, it doesn't seem like we have like, but okay, just continue. We will be taking that pause because it looks like we have players, but I don't think a rehost will be in order because we stopped at this stage. They can just honestly just reconnect when they want to. But yeah, like just saying, 2 rounds in in map number 1 in a best of 3 doesn't matter as much as you would like to. But Bullet, as you were seeing from the sidebar, what did you think about 2 rounds and the pace that AMG is already setting?
In the very first round, it was a really, really good, attacking play coming out from the side of AndroMeda. I mean, Won't Stop Picking didn't have like a minute to or seconds to think it through what really happened. Again, that was the first round, and it is something like which is kind of like the usual play. Now, talking about the second round, yes, Won't Stop Picking, especially the play coming from the side of Athar, almost had it, but also talk about the fact that you just cannot rely on just like one guy talking about Athel at this point of time to just make sure that he is the last guy standing every time around to clutch it for your entire team. He also needs the flexible and the support play coming off from his teammates as well. So probably a little bit of that site extension is pretty much needed, a little bit of that vertical play is kind of needed, and we might see, because just 2 rounds. But for now, folks, we'll take a short little break, and we'll be coming after the break through the matches very shortly.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Fragnation in partnership with Ubisoft. I'm your host Blackjack, the FPS deficient and mic notwithstanding guy, host as well, alongside Bullet and Madness. Again, that's just a joke, for the production. Those who know, they know. But with that said, of course, you're wondering why we're back and what happened earlier on. For those who may not have been here, the first two rounds of this best of three have already been taken care of. It's a 2-0 AndroMeda Gaming right now, and we had to take a rehost, which was why the slightly lengthy break. Now, according to what news we've gotten, we will be back in just a short moment, hopefully, maybe. But until then, of course, I've got our beautiful boys, Madness and Bullet, with me. Bullet, I'm going to pass this off to you. Take us through the first couple of rounds. You were kind of talking about it before we went to the break, so take us through more of what your thoughts are on what we saw.
Yeah, starting off with the first, set of bands coming into the picture. I'm not really sure why exactly there's going to be a Blackbeard band coming into the picture because, again, on a map like Border, Blackbeard is someone in some of these close quarter combat, especially in the first floor objective, even in the second floor objective. Blackbeard is someone that you can easily take care of. I'm not really sure why there's not a Monty man. Talking about the second floor objectives as well, Monty is someone that can be a big nuance to be taken care of, whether it's the foundation push or whether it is the server push coming into the picture. Now, getting the discussion aside for the bans as well. Now, when we talk about the AMG's attacking play, don't get me wrong, the guy playing in with the Nomad in the very first round was actually popping off like real crazy. Yeah, that was the Heli and the Savage, Shaitan and Sasuke. The both and the trio were just making sure that they're able to get the default hard breach. They are just able to get inside the bomb site. They're just able to Sasaki is just able to pick off the picks as soon as possible, and they were like able to just clear out the entire side. Three guys in less than 20 to 45 seconds, and this is something where Won't Stop Peaking needs to be a little bit more attentive. There was literally none to almost like 5% of the vertical plays happening in. There were no C4s, there were no communication being made. I didn't saw any vertical shots being made from towards the A side or the B side. Again, vertical play is something that needs to be done from the side of Won't Stop Peaking. This was the side of the very first round, and which is like from the side of AMG, very thoroughly put in together, very thoroughly played and very thoroughly picked, and that was quick as well. The round got over in less than 50 to 1 minute. Talking about the side of Won't Stop Peaking, in the second round, we did saw a huge retaliation play coming out from the side of Tharv and Vinci altogether, which talks about the side that yes, because this is just like round number 1, round number 2, things are gonna pass like that. 2 rounds to the side of AMG, 2 rounds for the side of Won't Stop Peaking. But again, there needs to be a little bit of that more secondary utility play. Talking about the C4s, talking about some of these toxic babes being put down from the side of Won't Stop Peaking defensive play. Because on a map like Border, where you have so much of these close quarter combat gameplay happening between these two teams, you need to have these utilities which can just slow down the entire aggression from the side of the attackers. This is not a huge map like Night Heaven's Labs, where attackers have kind of like an upper hand advantage as well and upper hand disadvantage as well, because sometimes around some of these huge map, attackers do have the problem of just picking out every other room, droning out the every other angle to make sure defense is not going to flank you any moment. On a small like Border, yes, all they need to worry about is just making sure they put down those claymores. If they have the air jabs coming into play, there's not going to be the flanks coming in from either of the stairs. If the site is on the second floor, all they need to take care of are just some of these trap based operators. So maybe all of that trap operators combined with Kaid, combined with Legion, combined with Fender can do the trick. But again, this is like a second round. We have to just wait for a while on how some of these rounds can make up for both these sides.
Yeah, with that being said, guys, it looks like we'll be taking a break again because we do still seem to be having those problems. So we'll see you guys in a bit, and we are in the same amount of question marks that you are right now. See you in a bit.
Same.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Fragnation in partnership with Ubisoft. That's the third time we're saying it tonight, and hopefully this has to be the last time for map number 1. Yes, once again, we had to take a break due to the lobby shenanigans, as happens with Rainbow Six and getting players into the lobby. You all know exactly what happens. If you've played this game or set up a tournament, you know what we're talking about. But with that said, I'm your host, the FPS deficient Blackjack, alongside my two friends, Bullet and Madness, as we are back for map number 1. 2 rounds have happened. It is 2-0, and Bullet has gone on extensive detail about exactly what we have seen in those first 2 rounds. So, Bullet, I'm not going to be bothering you with that. We're actually going to let you go and let you take some rest for those vocal cords for the rest of this map until we need you later. So, with that said, we're getting right into it, folks. Thankfully, round number 3 is a go, as it is 2-0 on the map count. Madness. Finally, we're back into it, and we're going to Bathroom and Tellers.
Bathroom Tellers have decided 2F is no longer the side after not being able to defend it 2 rounds in a row, as was mentioned before. I think the electric play just didn't work out for them, and once it opened up, that was just a round of individuality, right? Coming in from the WSP,
Right.
coming in from the kite, last round itself, right? That was just a lot of individual play, triple kill both ends right now, but let's see if the change in side can be that are coming. We also have a switch in operators. Buckinator is going to be bringing out the Fenrir this time. So 3 different operators in 3 different rounds for Buckinator. Let's see if this one is the magical number, because unfortunately for now, not much impact with the rehost. You don't see the numbers that you want to see, but we do have a blitz coming in over here, Blackjack, and one shield is banned, but 1 shield is taken.
Oh, Dead Bat Rat coming in with the blitz. They were, of course, the ones playing Dokkaebi a couple of rounds ago, or at least in round number 2, who got the triple kill while the plant was happening on the other side of the map, if I recall correctly. Or not the other side, it was on Archive's plant after the entry into the fountain. So that is a dangerous player to have the blitz on, folks. If you know, you know. And yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. Of course, you've got Shaitan coming in with the striker as well on the attacker side. So grenades and secondary heartbeat charges for the hatches, hence why no Hibana pick or Thermite pick or even a Maverick pick, even though you really don't want Maverick for hatches. Like, that's like one of the worst breachers you can pick if you're going for hatches, in my opinion. But with that said, you've got the Kaid to worry about, and I'm not seeing a secondary heartbeat charge on that lineup, but we do have a Mira on second floor who's being chased down by the Blitz right now. Fenrir Efna is going to delay Dead Bad Rat just a little bit. That allows the Mira to run away just a bit, but Buckinator managed to get a shot off through the wall, only to get shot himself as Shaitan returns that kill.
Yeah, 4-3 man for AMG. The C4 comes in play but doesn't connect. It was pre-placed there, but no action can generate. The Rams are coming in. Now the verticality will be also in question about how this round shall progress. Desmond just scouring in the corner upstairs. There's just complete upstairs taken for themselves. Let's see. Corpus looking through the, the woodwork to the steel bars, but not getting. But in the meantime, Desmond gets the kill onto Mayang. Oh, that's the Nomad out of the round. So there's the Blitz. Nomad gone, and she probably has the
Reloading.
Pre-fire's coming in the ground in the corner from Hell, not connecting right now. They're looking to make their way down. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to make a lot of wall bangs coming in. No connections for now, except for what Buckinator did earlier. But from below the stairs here, strikes the kid. He gets the knock, gets the injure onto Hell, who's just limping into the corner. The thing's better, but he's not going to go for the pickup. Maybe through the... Maybe try and get a double, but no, he doesn't have the vision. He has the pre-fires. He's gonna connect. Does a ton of damage, but Desmond gets another onto Shaitan. Oh my god, this is the Mira who has kept it up for so long, who has been just chilling here in security room. But the hatch is there, the open comes in, but Andy strikes faster. The Cobra gets the first attack, but Hell is left alone in a 1 versus 3 low HP bar. Very difficult to honestly do over here. WSP looking to secure their first round. Hell goes for the pre-fire, but no, Vinci strikes faster. Hell unfortunately going down, and WSP getting their first round, finally answering back. The break doing them what it seems to be the better part.
Definitely that break time gave them a lot of time to strategize and also figure out what was going on in rounds number 1 and 2. I certainly like the way Won't Stop Peaking handled themselves in this third round, especially with the mirror play on the top floor. Clearly, that was the difference maker, and for good reason. Mira has always been, even on a map like Border, which came out before Mira was released, right? Even on a map like that, Mira was always a absolute titan, and even now, that has been proved once again. With that said, the final bans have come out for this first half, and Kaid and Ram have been banned for this particular, for the last 3 rounds of this first half. Look. So, the Kaid ban, I mean, I think we all kind of saw it coming, right? Kaid in round number 2, second floor, definitely had a lot to say about the breaches that were being attempted, even with the bandit, of course, in tow. And in this round, of course, we saw round number 3, the Kaid being the reason why the hatches, or at least the reinforced hatches, were not, well, they were not broken down. They were not breached. And that's why Kaid gets banned. So, a pretty good ban, all things considered. The Ram, on the other hand, very situational. Although there is a lot of soft floors on the second floor of Border, so I understand the reasoning behind this ban of Ram. I will still say maybe Dokkaebi would have been a better ban overall, but then again, that kind of comes down to min-maxing the situation, and I don't think Won't Stop Peaking really gave it that much thought. They just thought, hey, we don't want to deal with Ram, there's a lot of floors, and if we win this round, we go first floor again, so let's take her out. And that, in and of itself, is a good idea, if you ask me.
Yeah, and then fourth round, Buccaneers are going to come with the fourth different operator. He's going to be coming in this time with the Maestro. He's going to be looking to lock it in with those scams of his. Let's see if that delays the mirrors yet in play for Desmond. Long range in the hands of Arthur, and he has the Arumi to help him. But we have a Ying coming in. A Ying is, you know, kind of telling of the kind of take that AMG is maybe looking to go. So if this Ying gets spotted out, this might allow WSP to think this might not just be this side to take. It might just be a reverse side. They're just putting pressure here early on just to see how it comes in. But for now, you can hear the chomps away at the camps. He's going to try and get some drones. Shaitan ends up going down. They're not going to take over security. So security room is going to be the place from which WSP is going to strike 2 quick kills. That's going to be Shaitan going down that bad rat as well. We know how much he loves to go for multi-kills. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so much more in the round. WSP with the man advantage. 5-3. It's for them to come in. But the Ying comes in. The Candela is going to strike. But no advantage gained, at least for AMG. But the swing comes in for Desmond. He gets another double kill coming in for him. Comes back in, but Sasuke gets the return. A double for him as well. But in the meantime, Sasuke's team quite a beating as well. He's going to have to try and pre-fire his way to glory to stay alive here, Blackjack.
Oh, absolutely. That Ying LMG is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting right now. 3 Candelas in the pocket. Of course, Mayank has come around to that waiting room door to try and support, but at the same time, there's only so much you can do. But there's that pre-fire once again. Finds a turf, but that Evil Eye has been such a pain to deal with. He does not want to look away from it at all. Sasaki knows that as soon as that thing gets him, it's over for probably for the entire round. Mayank would be caught in a 1v3 and a very difficult one at that. 40 seconds and less remain. And look at this. There we go. The Evil Eye from Buckinator coming in, finishing the job and giving away the call that, hey, the Flores is also in waiting room. Shots fired, and that's going to be 1. Now in a 1v2, Maya has to find these final 2. That's going to be a good mine in his shin. Not the best thing to happen right now, as that's going to chip away a little bit more damage. And that's also the call that, hey, here is the Flores' position, and there we go. He's going to get taken out as well. Vinci with the final shot, long shot, all the way from this door, this little opening in the, in the metal carriage right there. But with that said, the second round goes to WSP, or the fourth round and the second for them, which makes it a 2-2 scoreline, equalized between the two teams.
Equalization does come into effect. WSP, after the break, coming back, bringing their own 2 rounds. Remember, guys, we had a quite a significant amount of gap between between after rounds number 2, because the first 2 rounds going to AMG, then we took that break. WSP is gonna come back, they're gonna strike, and it looks like what they are doing is working out, and a lot is in play because of what the Mira is actually doing over here. Desmond being a key factor in WSP's defense right now with the way he's playing Buccaneer with the Fender. Yeah, he just keeps on switching operators. He doesn't want to stay stuck into one place, and a bit of a rethink coming in from AMG. They don't want to run the blitz. They look like they want to be switching over to the Dokkaebi. The striker locked in for Shaitan, going be having the double utility available to him, but now the Legion and at least not too much with the Melusi in place. We're going back downstairs, right? Depending on how you want to see it, how you actually can defend here. You have to take a lot of the upstairs space. You can see Desmond's trying to get it, but you have to have people here to help him out, Blackjack, honestly.
Yeah. Sometimes you need some help when you're doing those breaches, when you're doing those setups, right? That's what the prep phase is for. You take the time to figure out what you need, what you needed, and how you go about accomplishing it. That's why, of course, the SAS defenders pretty much never switch off that primary shotgun, because it's so good for getting those breaches done, right? It's a utility pick more so than anything else, and everything else is kind of the cherry on top. With that said, of course, the site being workshop means that it necessitates a slightly different push from AMG's attack here. As a Fountain, of course, is a pretty, not Fountain, I should say. Bathroom, of course, is a pretty simple push idea, right? You get control of Armory, you get control of Archives, you get control of Fountain, and you pretty much play top down from there. Make sure to watch your metal stairs and your east stairs. But this particular part of the map, it's a little bit different because it's a lot wider area of control. While, yes, it's still Armored Archives and maybe Fountain that you need to take over, you also have to do a first floor push because this particular part of the map, Workshop, is a lot more secure, some would say, or at least it has a lot more hard cover. With that said, here we go once again. Desmond bringing in that vector of the Mira. He's going to strike first, finding Mayank, and Dead Bad Rat's going to fire back Cobra to fall in the meanwhile, but he's low on health because he got peeked by the mute. Desmond taking damage, so does Shaitan. Lots of action happening. C4 goes out to Tellers. Not going to find the striker, unfortunately, but that should give the Mira enough time to rotate. There we go. Shaitan is on the floor, and he's going to be confirmed on Desmond with the second kill.
Desmond keeping up its streak, already 6 for 1 in terms of KD, and he's doing phenomenally on the mirror. He's just going for the rooms. He's set up the black mirrors as well. He does not care. He's the one who's going to take the fight to the side of AMG, and he's leading the charge quite so ever. That bad rat did get the opening frag for his side, did end up taking quite a bit of damage, so he has to be a bit cautious. And talking about that, he's already going to end up going down to Desmond. A triple kill for this man in round number 5, going on 1. It seems like looking for more. Sasuke in the meantime gets the kill onto Vince. He was arching around the corner, trying to gain some space, but now that should give the position away of where the buck is located. He's located squarely inside. Doesn't seem to have the diffuser. Gunfire off screen. It's Sasaki with the pre-fires. Not honestly going to connect into anything. Time is running down. 15 seconds left. In the meantime, Hell gets picked up by the side of the Legion. So Sasaki all alone picks up the kill on the Atrav, but from around the corner. He doesn't have the time. He's not going to make it to side. You just stay alive from the side of WSP. He tried to do a good job, but unfortunately for AMG, WSP going to close this one out based on time. Going to secure their 3rd round in a row.
Should have banned that Mira. Should have banned that Mira. Because, and yes, of course, some might say that hindsight is 50-50, right? Or 20-20, whatever the saying is. I will say this much, that when you really think about it, right? I did give them props for banning the Kaid, and I still kind of will. Kaid was a bit of a nuisance to deal with when it came to Won't Stop Peeking's defense, but I did have just a moment while you were, taking us through that at the end of that last round madness. I did have a second to kind of reflect on what we did see in round number 3. And that was first floor bathroom, and we had the Mira playing top floor, who stayed alive pretty much till the end of the round. But more so than that, the Mira was the main reason why the second floor push ended up not working, right? If memory serves me correctly, that was entirely because of Desmond. Desmond being on second floor, because of where those mirrors were, because the Blitz, who Dead Bad Brad was playing, and is playing in this round as well, was not able to take out of their position, right? And because of that, Won't Stop Peeking's defense got away with a very secure round, a round that they really didn't look too uncomfortable on because the mirror was never taken away from second floor. And that happened before the final ban. That happened before ban number 3, before round number 4. So, realistically, yes, I can sit here and say, oh, they should have banned Mira, but when you're really thinking about it, given how often Mira is banned, and for good reason, the fact that they decided not to ban Mira is certainly biting them in the backside right now. But, you know, I'm not going to rag on that decision too much. Right now, we have an entry coming in towards the customs inspection side. That's going to be the hard breach done. And there's somebody down here as well. That's the mute Vinci, who's got to be careful about their shots fired. And that's Dead Bad Brad. This time, starting things off with a vengeance.
That's the blitz change coming in the AMG thing that they require, and it's paying off right now. The mute already eliminated the blitz, looking for one more. In the meantime, Desmond working harder on the mirror, gets a kill onto Mayank, equalizing the numbers. The blitz not aware of the guy in the corner. He's in angles. He can't put the shield both ways. ND Cobra gonna strike on that Bad Rat, who's looking to come around the corner, trying to creep up onto Buckinator, but the diversion is enough. The pickup comes in. Man advantage restored by the side of WSP, but a long gunfight coming in over here. Buckinator actually injured over the process by Sasaki. He has the verticality that he actually brought up earlier. It doesn't get any damage to the floorboards. In the meantime, Shaitan gets the pickup. There's a drop down by Desmond. Desmond comes out on top. Gets another for his troubles, but unfortunately... Wait, actually he gets a third onto Hell. It's only Shaitan left. Technically in a 2 versus 1. Buckinator's down. The finish should come in from Shaitan. He's trying to bait in more enemies. There is less time for him to play with over. He's coming around the corner looking for the kill, but unfortunately Desmond will strike through. Shaitan gets one, but Desmond gets the better. This man, honestly, I think has to be the MVP. This man is coming up clutch. I think that was his quad drive in the round, if I'm not mistaken, Blackjack.
Yep, that was a 4K on a roaming Mira. That's not a statement you hear too often, folks. A roaming Mira has managed the 4K. Now, given the way Desmond has played as the Mira, kind of in these situations, some might even say that banning the Mira would have been useless because Desmond could have just roamed with the Goyo and got the similar results. And I do kind of agree that it's more so Desmond's just pure mechanical skill that's doing a lot of what we saw. But at the same time, you're discounting, by saying that, you'd be discounting the pure utility of those black mirrors. The reason AMG on the attack had to make those kinds of decisions that they did to play the certain angles that they did, the decision in that last round, for instance, to push through customs inspection and do an entire first floor clear instead for bathroom tellers instead of even attempting second floor, was because they learned that lesson, or they took that lesson from when Won't Stop Peeking's defense was on the same site. They tried a second floor push on round 3, and guess who was the player that completely shut them down? It was Desmond. Once again, the blitz was ineffective, mostly, once again. So it's really just a case of whatever AMG had decided to do, Won't Stop Peeking really read into it quickly and with a lot of efficiency, and Desmond just punished them for it. Like, this is a player going 11-1 after 4 rounds of play, not 6, because rounds 1 and 2 aren't counted right now on the on-screen stats because we had the break, right? It's a rehosted lobby. So, folks, that just means Desmond is on an absolute tear, and he was doing it with the Mira. So, unfortunately, with all those decisions made, there's not going to be too much time to linger on them anymore because we have moved on to round number 7, the second half, and we're looking at a Blackbeard, a Nomad, and of course an Azami and a Mira. There we go, that Mira band that I was talking about a lot. That needs to happen more often because, again, purely because of that reason. I've said this time and time again, you do not want to keep Mira unbanned, and anytime Mira's unbanned, stuff like this is what happens, madness.
Yes, stuff like this is exactly what happens. There's also a lot, like you're talking about, to the mechanics of how Desmond operated. A lot was on his screen. The drop down as the mirror in that last round honestly just surprised me. It was something unexpected and worked out very well for him. This time he's gonna be on the buck instead. WSP actually has got 4 rounds in a row for them off the break. So the AMG kind of momentum they built up, unfortunately I think the break did not work out for them at all or whatsoever, because they have fallen behind. A lot of barricades have been broken down, a lot of window, a lot of control obtained right now, but it's only in the hallway section. They have to start taking some of these rooms close by. The ace charge is going to be used up here from East balcony side, trying to cause an entryway for themselves, and you have the gridlock to watch the backside because no man has been brought up. But with the ace opened up, slight hole, let's see. Oh, the bug being used very nicely actually, but unfortunately couldn't get the damage he wants. The guy actually ends up escaping. Meantime, that Predator gets the kill onto ND Cobra. The shots going wild, or miss from the side of Desmond. In the meantime, Altarab gets the return frag. The gridlock also coming out. 4 versus 4 right now. Unfortunately, through the smoke, Desmond actually gonna get finished by Shaitan on the Arumi. And from below, this is what we were talking about before. They have vertical play from the side of AMG in their defense. This is the side they can work on. The Tubaru against the wall, the frozen barricade, trying to delay some more progress, but the ace is there. Hell from around the corner gets a headshot onto the skull of the gridlock. Hell gets a double kill coming in from the side of AMG. It's time for the theatrics of Hell, but unfortunately Shaitan ends up getting the last kill. A long range snipe. This is a nice duo of the close range of the Legion, the far range of the Arumi, working very well from the side of AMG, and WSP unfortunately couldn't even enter close to the bomb site.
They tried to do the fountain play that we saw from AMG's attack a couple of rounds ago in round number 2, right? If I recall correctly. And the idea was there, yes, but I feel like they fired their guns a little too quickly. Won't stop peeking, right? They pushed in really fast, or at least they tried to push in really aggressively. And the side of AMG had time, just enough, to adapt and re-peak them in a lot of situations, right? And even when it was taken into a 4v4, there was only so much that AMG or AndroMeda Gaming had to lose. They just sat there. They waited for Won't Stop Peeking to come to them, and, well, they went to them and they got taken off the board. So, with that said, we're going to be moving on to round number 8 here, folks, as a very simple first round of the second half went through. Not much to really say, per se, other than maybe that does set the pace for AMG potentially equalizing this round. But whether or not that is the case, we will see. Border is certainly one of those weird maps where anything can happen. And speaking of anything happening, it does make my little heart happy to see Vinci bring out the Fuse, who has certainly seen a rise in popularity after the recent litany of buffs he's been getting over the last few years, especially that 4th cluster charge. I'll tell you what, between that and the secondary heart breach, and having one of the best guns in the game, he's certainly an operator to be reckoned with right now.
Absolutely, the Fuse does spice it up, especially because the site is below. You can cause quite a nuisance from above, but you have to take the grounds with your team. Looks like this guy's gonna come in, gonna make short work of his wooden barricades in front of him, trying to open up as many angles. You can see close by. You're just waiting in the corner as the defender, but he's not gonna catch. He's actually looking for a peek. Ram is holding the angle, just waiting for the side of Mayank to make a small mistake, but for now it's not coming through the drone hole. You're actually watching Mayank on the top side losing HP, means the gunfight was taken. Unfortunately, Mayank not coming up good. Mayank actually ends up getting injured. This should be the entry part from WSP. The Fender's gonna delay them a bit. The FNAT's getting in the way, but finally should be the confirmation kill. He's still around safe, just hiding on the corner. The leash is just waiting to see if Ram is going to peek into it. This is the moment the pre-fires come in. The connection is there. Hell takes quite a beating. So does Cobra, honestly. I think Hell's going to have to back away, give up his body. They need a bit of help. I don't think they know that Fenrir is just around here, still injured. They think he's been picked up. In the meantime, Legion gets knocked as well with the long-range fight. 2 members getting down. The roam not working for AMG at all.
Not at all. Cobra's going to clean up on Hell right there, and that's going to be 2 down for the price of none. Here come the boogies from the ramp, and that's verticality being set up very nicely from Won't Stop Peeking. They've got a full minute to execute on site as well, so there's so much time for them to do what they need to do. Those cluster charges are going to start raining down very, very soon, folks. And when they do, I'll tell you what, madness. It is going to be pandemonium on the side. Vinci just needs to get in there. He's been the one droning, I do believe. He's still on the drones, pretty much acting as a Valkyrie camera, or eyes on Valkyrie cameras for the side of the attack. So droning from Won't Stop Peeking has been great, but the time is running out. 5 seconds and less remaining. Oh my goodness, that was an explosion. Sasaki goes down on the other side. Goyo will be taken off the board as Shaitan and Dead Bad Rat are now caught in a 2v5, but they have side control. That's the important thing here. But Shaitan's taking a lot of damage. He takes out Desmond. That's 1 off the board. But can they get a couple more? They need to equalize, or at the very least put some pressure. It's not going to happen though. A turf puts Shaitan down, and it's all down to Dead Bad Rat. He sees 1. He gets 1. Buckinator off the board, but a turf comes in, makes a hole in the wall, or goes up to one of them, and takes down the mute. He makes it 5-3. Also, just putting it out there, because y'all heard it on the stream, that's just fireworks going off in the alley behind me. They are going to be very loud. I do apologize for that.
It just adds sound effect to the fights that are going on. It's pretty nice coming in. I think when the firework went off, Buckinator I think got a kill at that exact same moment. So it just adds a bit of flavor coming in to this side. But WSP gonna start mounting some rounds back in. A successful attack from them. It looks pretty nice coming out the way that was played out. You just get the last person in a corner. Vinci tried to do his best, but unfortunately could not come up with what he wanted in that sense. But at the end of the day, WSP mounting just 1 round away from map point over here, depending how it goes. But we're going back down. We're going bathroom and tellers. Let's see if AMG can defend it. We have the Goyo, we have the Fenrir coming in. But you saw last time what happened during the roam. The Fenrir and the Legion, that was the duo that ended up falling down. They're going to try and put the pressure on it again because is roaming above. Do you think this time, Blackjack, they can come out on top?
Well, they certainly would want to, I'll tell you that much. But given what happened in the last round, of course, it only happened in 1 round so far, so it's not really a trend or a repeating pattern that we can latch onto just yet. But I will say, if Won't Stop Peeking is able to do that same level of droning that they did in the previous round, then there's a very good chance that AMG will, unfortunately, not have the most fun time overall. But looks like Sasaki's going to join them on the top floor as well, so it's a triple roam. Mayank, Hell, and Sasaki, the Goyo, the Fenrir, and the Legion, all up here right now in Won't Stop Peeking's business, which means the droning, well, the droning will probably be good, but what needs to be even better is going to be the execute. They need to find these defenders. They need to take them down. Ready was done just now, and I love this from Sasaki. He's being a bit of a nuisance right now by trying to do as much as he can, but never mind. Desmond just runs in before the fire could go off, finds Mayank, but Sasaki comes in, gets a return kill, a third to fall. So beautifully done from the Goyo. He's still a little lower on health than he probably wants to be. Threw out an impact just now, probably to maybe get an escape going. No, nothing of the sort. He's still in small room. Shots fired, and he is so low on health. How is he alive? How is he getting this? He manages to find Vinci, only to get taken down by Desmond. That is a return kill that needed to happen. That should not have had to have been a return kill in the first place. Buckinator, but the Legion mine in his shin, has to be careful about this. The Twitch losing a little bit of health right there, but Hell is still above, and that's going to take a lot of time away from these attackers. Oh dear me, Hell finds Buckinator instead, and that might have just been the nail in the coffin, unless Cobra is able to do something about this. They know that he's somewhere in offices. He's trying to find them. Sledge is coming up close, but do they know about the prone? They don't, but it doesn't matter. Able to adapt in time, and that will make it 2v2 in the last minute of the round.
2v2 in the last minute in the corner. Hell was lying. Unfortunately, the bullets didn't land the way you want. A bullet kill camera on the wall dealt with. But on the bottom side, we have the duo of Shaitan and that bad rat trying to dismay whatsoever. The hatch is there for the taking. You can drop down in try and make your way into bathroom if that's the way you want to produce. But where is your partner? Where is the man that has to go down with you? 30 seconds left on the clock for the side of WSP to make the move. It's a 2 versus 2 equal number advantages. The sledge is causing a lot of noise. It allows Andy to maybe come up on top with a bit of his own sound cues that are getting blocked away. But in the meantime, Desmond falls down to the hands of Shaitan. But the counter comes in from Endigo from the swing around the corner. 10 seconds left to play with. That Bad Rat in a corner. The Mute hiding away to glory. He comes in. Mute coming out on top, and he secures the round for AMG. They are not going down without a fight. They're going to claw round by round back, it seems like, back into the map number 1 over here.
And that deployable cam on that entry hallway towards bathroom tellers, that was pretty much one of the big things that saved the round right there. Last 10 seconds, the Ram knew that there was no way to go for a plant, right? There's no safe space. They don't have control of site. They don't have control of anything. So best to just go for the kill. There really wasn't much you could do there. But it was more so Won't Stop Peeking's top floor roam clear attempt that left a little bit to be desired, I will admit. Vinci on the fuse trying to aggress in the small room. I'm not really sure what he was doing because he got the shots onto the small room wall, put the Goyo onto such low health, and then just nothing. He switches to his pistol because he's out of bullets probably, tries to go prone, I'm not sure what was happening, and then gets shot in the face for his trouble. So, all things considered, it was just a complete cluster mess on that top floor, and, well, we saw what happened there. Just the trade of bodies was not supposed to be happening for Won't Stop Peeking, as in the way it did, right? Because the reason that they lost that round was because they never got a body advantage, and they never had the time, or they almost never had the time in their hands to go for the full execute. They didn't have time to establish criticality. They did not have the manpower to fully execute upon it either. With that said, the final bans of map number 1 have been taken care of, folks. It is going to be Ram once again, I kind of understand it, and Fenrir from the side of the attack. Fenrir, of course, has been an instrument, a very good instrument, at slowing down the attacker so far, so taking him off the board makes perfect sense. With that said, let's get into it, potentially the last few rounds of map 1.
It's looking like it's going pound for pound, fist for fist between both these teams in terms of how the rounds are progressing from the already entry towards Africa side from the side of Desmond blows that open. Vinci with the upside down repel, now gonna drone it out, now gonna get some space from some Buccaneer from below. There's an angle already created from above, not aware of it, not even thinking about it. Takes a couple of bullets for his troubles over there, but at least keeps his life on the way out. But Paul's getting a bit of nice information over the C4 use for the run out. The run out's gonna come in, but Desmond is there. Desmond is ready. There's a lot of time difference between it opening up and the run out coming in from Mayank, and unfortunately for him, that was time difference too much. WSP found on that. Desmond getting the first frag of this round.
Massive first kill right there. That's going to be the Pulse gone. So any and all kind of detection that the Pulse would have liked to do will no longer be the case. Desmond finds the peek on the door. In the meanwhile, that's one more down. And there's another triple kill. Desmond, he's back to popping off, folks. Buckinator has been put on the floor so far, but will probably get picked up in just a hot moment here. Depends on where Buckinator has been down, but meanwhile, another peek. You don't peek that door when you know that there's a sledge out there. When you know that Desmond is popping off. He's got pace. The long angle through the metal wall right there. They just walked into his crosshair one after one after one, and they kept peeking him, and Desmond kept punishing them. The ace, the flawless round, and map point for Won't Stop Peeking, 6-4.
Yeah, Desmond came back. He said quarter wasn't enough. Give me that ace. That's what he's going to pick up with the sledge. Lays down the hammer very nicely. Gets map point for his side. This is what WSP was looking for. This is a complete, like, mind you, it was a bit of a gap between after round number 2 and this point onwards, but down to onwards, this was the kind of WSP we were looking at, but Desmond turns it up with the Mira firstly, gets a quadra, gets a bunch of kills, keeps that upper ground for the side of WSP during defense round, just roams around with the Mira. Now with the sledge, he brings back the theatrics, like you're saying, gets back in the flow, gets an ace for himself. This is WSP. I think after a round like that, AMG's mental might be in a bit of tatters. They're gonna have to try and regroup, but Shaitan's gonna be bringing out the Scopus. So, Blackjack, talk to me a bit about how you think Scopus is what do you think about his position on border as an operator?
Scopus is an interesting pick, I will admit. Shaitan has not been lagging too far behind in terms of, the overall kill death of the round. 7-7 in not nearly, about 9 rounds is actually fine, right, for someone in their position. Now, the Scopus, of course, is a bit of a unique operator when it comes to Rainbow Six. It's very much like Oryx, but taken to an extreme, and where Oryx gets movement abilities where he can dash really fast and jump up hatches. Scopus can just straight up teleport if you want to see it that way, right? The two Titan shells, or the two shells of Scopus, right? Colossus and I forget the other one's name. Those two share Scopus's feet, right? Scopus herself, of course, is sitting far away from the actual battle, but she's controlling these two drones, or robots, if you want to call it, and it's very, very good for late round flank. Drones here did find the position of one, and I do believe that was actually the Scopus being pinged and still being pinged below East Stairs right now. Shots fired, and that pipe is going to stop the push, but never mind. The Turv goes around, finds the kill anyway, and Shaitan will fall. So all of that explaining about what Scopus does and how you can kind of think about her, well, it's all wasted, folks. Shaitan has been taken on board, but wait a minute. A Turv goes down at the same time, and that's going to be Shaitan claiming that kill from beyond the grave as the Bandit Tricks comes in, and that's going to stop the breach from happening initially. Oh, the grenade didn't go where it needed to, and that's going to stop the ace from getting the breach done.
Yeah, the Bandit Trick's gonna come in clutch for the side of injury. They're thinking more on the defensive route. They're gonna prevent it, and the nades, like you pointed out, did not come in the way that they needed to. Desmond, unfortunately, falling a bit short in the utility department. We know his aim has been on point, but unfortunately for him, the grenades not good with the number. So different avenues to come in. Desmond's trying to go for the first pick, but Hell is waiting. Hell is very sharp on the mark. Gets that instant headshot. A quick burst of bullets is all you heard, but in the meantime, in the hallway will be the roams. This is a nice setup towards Fountain area for the side of Sasaki and the side of Hell, right? They have a nice crossfire for themselves. They can help out each other. Buccinator scam should be going with us. Zero trying to get some vision, but now here's the Capital. This is very good for flushing out angles. Hell on the corner now being separated from his fellow mate. Sasaki should be just waiting there, honestly, depending on how this angle should be looking for him. If you peek too much, this could be a problem for the side of the smoke. 23 seconds left on the clock, but no, they've both actually backed away into the room. 20 seconds left to play for the side of AMG. They have to start making progress. It's a 4 versus 3. They don't have the man advantage for the other side LSP, but the Death Scopus's body still can be used as a camera. Now you're going to try and run in. You get the pick actually onto Hell, but Cobra should be going down to the help of the Goo Mines as well. Vinci gets a pick onto Mayang on the other side. Never ran with the kill onto Vinci. On top of the desk is Buccinator, but unfortunately, Time is not on Zero's side. The oldest operator in Siege, unfortunately, could not work it for his team. AMG going to come back into this, going to bring us to the rounds of ones, like you like to say, Black.
Oh yes, Madness. The round of ones is what we're going to be seeing here, folks, and that is what is the round of ones? Round number 12, which means 6 points have been secured by Won't Stop Peaking, and they are 1 round away from ending map 1, taking us to map number 2, Nighthaven Labs. On the other hand, it is of course 1 round required for the side of AndroMeda Gaming to push to overtime and give themselves a renewed hope of winning this map, taking us to map number 2 with them in the driver's seat. Now, looking at Border, this actually is AndroMeda Gaming's map pick, something that we've kind of not spoken about because of how close the map has been so far, right? But AndroMeda, they were the ones to take the first 2 rounds. They were the ones to take the initiative and set the tone for how aggressive and potentially how hype this map can be. And certainly it has been very, very hype for those at home and for us here at the caster's desk. with that said, we're going to be going now into round number 12, folks, as we have ourselves potentially either the end of the map or 3 more rounds of explosive Rainbow Six coming up. Let's find out.
Yeah, and if you keep in mind, this is AMG's map pick, right? This border is what they decide, and I think next would be WSP's. But if WSP takes a map that is not even the one that they had predestined for themselves, that which is going to be another prep in their step. AMG going to have to come back from quite a deficit if that happens, but they're going to have to fight off in the round one. They're going to try and take us to overtime for map number 1, this lower bracket round 1 in the playoffs over here. A lot to play for from both these teams. Let's see who can join in first. Mayak actually going to go quite proactive here with the alibi, the 3-speed operator, trying to put those like the holograms to actually deter presence, actually bait out a couple of where the attackers are. For now, the walls have opened up. Desmond's going to go prone on the ground, trying to get an angle if he can generate it whatsoever over here. Mike is looking, no action whatsoever towards him. It's all 2F for the side of WSP. They're trying to enter here. Vinci rappelling outside the window, not going to catch anything. They have taken a fair bit of control, but it's not the control that they want, because the control they want has to be a bit more further down the line over here. And to getting the kill onto Shaitan, and here Sledge coming into work. Desmond going to just do a one and done kind of scenario over there, going to open up a bit of the floorboard as they allow him to rest, as AMG are still fighting to be alive with that man deficit over here back there.
Especially losing Shaitan once again. Though I will say Shaitan was one of the first to drop early on, but that time that's a drop coming in from Cobra, who really wants to Saki off the board, and he will do so, but not before Mayank managed to find Cobra on the other side. Coming up metal stairs, the call out has been given. And Mayank just not ready for Desmond to peek at that exact moment. That's going to be a double kill for Desmond. He's on the train once again, the multi-kill streak. He's going 21-5, folks, in 10 rounds. I don't even know what the first 2 rounds had for him in terms of statistics, but whatever it was, it probably wasn't anywhere near as good as this. That much, of course, I think we can all agree on. But with that said, Desmond, so far, looking for more. We'll get a triple. Oh, dear me. Is this another Desmond 4K? Let's find out. There's only one remaining. Hell, and his position is given away. The drop comes in, and a third will come around, finding the final kill. Hell will fall. The 4K is denied, but I don't think Desmond will mind, because we have ourselves map number 1 going the way of that attacking team. That is to say, Won't Stop Peaking are going up 1-0 after a grueling 7-5 game against the side of AndroMeda Gaming. Of course, that was just map number 1, folks, and we'll be getting into map number 2 shortly. Of course, map 2 being the ever so favored Nighthaven Labs. But with that said, let's take it back to us here at the caster's desk to take you through what we saw. And I'll tell you what, one of the main highlights, just in general, for probably the entire week, has got to be the way Desmond played that entire matchup. 22-5, closing out on 10 rounds, so it's probably going to be somewhere around 24, 25, give or take, maybe. At least that's my estimate, once we get the final statistics for the map. But Bullet, welcome back to the segment here, as we now, of course, are going to hand it off to him as he takes us through what we saw in the map.
It was all about Desmond, man. Of course, getting into some of the moments where AMG was able to win out in their defense in the afterwards of the swap. Again, can be a big factor of that. When we saw Desmond going out, whether he was playing with the Sledge, whether he was playing with different attacker, but it saw AMG actually winning those rounds up against the side of Won't Stop Peaking. But if Desmond stays alive till the end of the round, it is the side of Desmond popping off like crazy. Whether it's been round number 7, whether it's been round number 10, Desmond was he went up a 3K up in round number 10. Then again, back, if I just want to like pull it backwards, give you a kind of like a replay into the flashbacks. In round number 6, he puts up a 4K clutch. Even though before that, it was the meta plays happening in. To be frankly speaking, it was the side of Desmond doing a lot of the heavy lifting of just taking those frags when it's absolutely necessary. I mean, kudos to the information. Every flex player giving up the information from the side of Won't Stop Peaking, whether it's a Thurb or Vinci. I did saw Cobra doing a lot of the drone work when they were at their attacking side. But you just cannot also ignore the fact that AMG on their defensive play were just not able to not actually just play up in some of these pocket strats, which you actually see whether you're playing towards the bathroom tellers, you're extending the side towards the archives, or whether you're actually playing up on the second floor side, they were not actually just able to understand how you can actually counter the entire play, whether it's been in round number 9 or whether it's been round number 11 as well. I was just not able to understand what exactly is going wrong for the side of AMG. It's not just about just winning those gunfights and losing those gunfights. Some of these plays from the side of Deadboy, who is playing a lot of the mute, and also for the side of Sasaki, were very questionable. Picking very aggressive, over aggressive, a semi-roam kind of like a situation happening in. Also for the side of Mayank, who was playing a lot of alibi, was not able to win those gunfire. He was actually, most of the time, he was actually the first guy to go down from the entire team. So again, this was a huge, I would say, a win coming off for the side of Won't Stop Peaking. Again, it was a 7-5 victory, so we can say it was a little bit close. But in terms of how Desmond went around 21 to 22, with just 5 deaths, he has been absolute in a very crazy form. If this continues to be the storyline for the next map as well, it's going to be really hard to say that we are going to see a decider map, to be frankly speaking, Madness.
Yeah, and then talking about it, right, this is AndroMeda Gaming's map pick actually at the end of the day. So Won't Stop Peaking, WSP winning out on this is good news definitely for them as we head into 9 table labs, the one that they have decided. And if Desmond is anything like he was in this map, I think we are in for a quick tour, because Desmond just went crazy. Like, we're just going to see the numbers over here and just look from the side of him, because we did have the reels coming in, but 22 kills to 7 deaths, right? 3 of the first opening frags for his side. Even That Bad Rat doing a lot in terms of opening frags, looking at Arthur as well in the 3-1 scenario, but Desmond just popped off over here, Blackjack.
Popped off is putting it lightly. 22-7 in the entire matchup, all things considered. So it looks like those first 2 rounds really didn't impact his statistics that much, because he did end with 22 kills, if I am remembering correctly. But with that said, 3-0 on entry. On top of that, matching Dead Bad Rat, who was 11-9 on his own with a 73% cost. So when you really think about it, Desmond outperformed pretty much the entire lobby. Thinking about it, right? A third of 3-1 on the entry also joined in on all of those entry frags, which of course very much helped the side of Won't Stop Peaking, because they are a team that loves getting their entry frags, that loves being aggressive. And that's exactly what we saw so much of from them in this particular round, in this particular map as well. Going 1-0 up, like you said, of course, on the map pick of the enemy team means that when we go to Nighthaven Labs, which is their pick, by the way, which is Won't Stop Peaking's pick, for lack of a better term, we're going to certainly see a whole new side to them. But with that said, folks, we're going to be taking a quick break before we get into map number 2, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
That should give the Mira enough time to rotate. There we go. Shaitan is on the floor. He got peeked by the mute. Desmond taking damage. So does Shaitan. Lots of action happening. C4 goes out to Tellers. Not going to find the striker, unfortunately. But that should give the Mira enough time to rotate. There we go. Shaitan is on the floor. And he's going to be confirmed on Desmond. The second kill.
The Mira, he's just going for the roams. He's head of the Black Bears as well. He does not care. He's the one who's going to take the fight to the side of AMG. He's charged quite well, but that Bad Rat did get the opening frag for his side. Did end up taking quite a bit of damage. And talking about that, he's already going to end up going down to death. He's charged quite well, but that Bad Rat did get the opening frag for his side. Did end up taking quite a bit of damage. And talking about that, he's already going to end up going down to Desmond, a triple kill for this man in round number 5, going on 1. It seems like looking for more. Sasuke
Method is decided not to ban Mira. It's certainly fighting them in backside right now. But, you know, I'm not going to drag on that decision too much. Right now we have an entry coming in towards the customs inspection side. That's going to be the hard breach done. And there's somebody down here as well. That's the mute Vinci, who's got to be careful about their shots fired. And that's dead battleground with a vengeance.
That's the blitz change coming in with AMG. It's paying off right now. The mute already eliminated the blitz, looking for one more. Mina Desmond working harder on the mirror, gets a kill onto Mayank, equalizing the numbers. The blitz not aware of the angle corner. He's in angle. He can't put the shield. Shaitan left technically in 2 versus 1. Buccaneers down. The finish is coming from Shaitan. He's trying to create his own enemies. There is less time for him to play with Uber. He's coming around the corner, looking for the big kill, but unfortunately Desmond will strike through. Shaitan gets one, but Desmond gets the better. This match, the moment the free fire coming in, the connection is their health. It's quite a beating. So does Cobra, honestly. I think El's gonna have to back away, give up his body. They need a bit of help. I don't think they know that Benny is just around here, still injured. They think he's been picked up. In the meantime, Lesion gets knocked as well with the long range fight. 2 members getting down the road.
5, but they have site control. That's the important thing here. But Shaitan's taking a lot of damage. He takes out Desmond. That's 1 off the board. But can they get a couple more? They need to equalize, or at the very least put some pressure. It's not going to happen though. A turf puts Shaitan down, and it's all down to Dead Bad Rat. He sees one. He gets one. Bucket it. All up here right now in Wont Peaking's business, which means the droning. Well, the droning will probably be good. But what needs to be even better is going to be the execute. They need to find these defenders. They need to take them down. Radio was done just now, and I love this from Sasaki. He's being a bit of a nuisance right now by trying to do as much.
It falls down to the hands of Shaitan, but the counter comes in from Indigo from the swing around the corner. 10 seconds left to play with. That Bad Rat in a corner. The mute hiding away to glory. He comes in. Mute coming out on top, and he secures the round for AMG. They are not going down without a fight. They're going to claw around by Desmond, getting the first frag.
Massive first kill right there. That's going to be the pulse gone. So any and all kind of protection that the Pulse would have liked to do will no longer be the case. Desmond finds the peak on the door in the meanwhile. That's 1 more down. And there's another triple kill. No longer be the case. Desmond finds the peak on the door in the meanwhile. That's 1 more down. And there's another triple kill. Desmond, he's back to popping off, folks. Buckinator has been put on the floor so far, but will probably get picked up in just a hot moment here. Depends on where Buckinator has been down. But meanwhile, another peak. You don't peak. Will probably get picked up in just a hot moment here. Depends on where Buckinator has been down. But meanwhile, another peak. You don't peek that door when you know that there's a sledge out there. When you know that Desmond is popping off. He's got pace. The long angle through the metal wall right there.
Yeah, the Bandit Trick's gonna come in clutch for the side of it. They think more on the defensive route. They're gonna prevent it, and the nades, like you pointed out, did not come in the way that they needed to. Desmond, unfortunately, falling a bit short in the utility department. We know his aim has been on point, but unfortunately for him, the grenades not good with the number. So different avenues to come in. Desmond's trying to go for the first week once
again. The multi-kill streak. He's going 21-5, folks, in 10 rounds. I don't even know what the first 2 rounds had for him in terms of the statistics, but whatever it was, it probably wasn't anywhere near as good as this. That much, of course, I think we can all agree on. But with that said, Desmond looking for more. We'll get a triple. Looking for more. We'll get a triple.
Well, hello folks, and welcome back to the Southeast Asia League Community Series, and this is of course going to be the playoffs. You're back after a short break, after the map number 1 has ended between the side of Won't Stop Gaming facing up AndroMeda. And what kind of like started off, between these 2 teams, I kind of expected that this will go all the way till the decider. Of course, it can still go right there, but with the score lines and with the entire sheer kind of like the aggression play happening in from the side of Desmond, from the side of Won't Stop Peaking, that can be a very different kind of like a story. Madness and Blackjack, what are your thoughts looking at? Of course, I want to put you in the center, Blackjack. What do you think about this map pick and coming in from both sides?
I'm going to be honest with you here, Bullet. I'm not Well, I will say this much first. Border being the pick from the side of AMG certainly gave me a lot to look forward to, and I think we've all kind of had that wish fulfilled, right? It was a close game. It was certainly a long one, although in some aspects not quite the way we wanted it to be, but it was a close, tightly fought, very hard battle game between the two teams. Unfortunately, AMG have lost their map pick, so right now the pressure's on them. They need to reverse the situation, win Nighthaven laps, and put themselves back on track to potentially knock Won't Stop Peaking out of the tournament here. Just a reminder, folks, this is lower bracket. This is the final chance that these teams will get. And if they lose here, if they lose tonight, well, they'll have to go home. And they will lose out on those top two spots. But I'm not going to take too much of your time, folks. We're going right into map number 2. So with that said, enjoy Bullet and Madness, and I will be bowing out for this map for now.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Blackjack, for that input over here. But yeah, like you're saying, it's do or die for both these teams, and especially for AMG, especially after losing map number 1 heading in this BO3 in hour 0-1 in the map that was picked by WSP. Won't Stop Peaking taking Nighthaven Labs, and then we have a Nomad and the Mira ban coming out. This time Mira getting banned away, plus the Thermite and Azami. The Azami I don't think has been played even once. It's been banned out throughout everything we have seen so far. The Nomad also getting a couple of times, Mira also a couple of times, the Thermite not so much. We had the Ace getting banned out instead of the Thermite, but the walk up over here into round number 1 is going to be probably abandoned, looking for AMG. We're going basement side for first defense over here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Mira ban coming up from the side of Won't Stop Peaking is something that I was kind of like not expecting, but of course the new operator bans are here, so of course they will still have the kind of like a chance to pick up Mira if AMG doesn't ban their attacking play. But for now, the bans are going to be as follows: Nomad and Thermite getting down to the side of AMG, and Won't Stop Peaking will take a decision to ban Mira. And Azami, yeah, Azami makes sense. I mean, in all the map like Nighthaven Labs, Kiba Barriers can be a great, I would say, the bowlers in the pathway of some of these attackers who are trying to just make up an angle, whether it's the basement side, whether it's the play around on the second floor objective, especially when they are trying to take control of the catwalk and warehouse area. But for now, the very first site has been selected as the basement, so yes, a whole lot of vertical play can happen around the control storage up there from the first floor. Now looking at how the entire situation has kind of like shifted, the entire momentum has kind of like shifted to the side of Won't Stop Peaking Madness. I do feel that if Won't Stop Peaking are able to get a couple of rounds very early to their side, it can be a bad signal or a kind of like a bad mental for the side of AMG, because on how the things started off on map number 1 was not exactly how things got ended for the entirety of the map scoreline. Yes, it was a 7-5, a close one in terms of the round scores, but on how Desmond, even I gotta give credit to the side of Cobra and everybody from the side of Won't Stop Peaking. They played it exceptionally well on their attacking play. For the moment, we do have a couple of players trying to just hold off to watch the second first. Sasaki gets the first pick on Buckinator. Gnome or Argus Scam being deployed for the moment, and this was actually a very big one though, because with the Argus Scam, whether it's the vertical play, even after the rework that we saw in year 8, you can actually pierce through and change the orientation. So that was a very big, I would say, pick coming off in just terms of taking out that huge utility play from the side of Zero. But at the moment, there's going to be a lot of that intel being denied from the side of Mank. Oh, he gets the pick on Desmond. Another one. That is going to be the Ash going down from the side of Mank. Flashbangs being in play. Athav gets the pick on Mank. I guess he has the information that's going to be just one more guy. Sasaki playing on towards the lobby stairs. Developings have been communicated through, and we do have Cobra just trying to take a decisive decision that if we want to just proceed down to the basement, or are we just going to make sure we clear out the roamers who are actually just still left on the second floor.
Yeah, over here you can see Vinci trying to make some headway. Sasaki gets his pick, backs away. We have a pre-play C4 below in case they want to activate there. Sasaki gets another, this time onto ND. Cobra finishing out the prey. It's a double kill for him already in the round. The Goyo with the vector. Something with these vectors, guys. It's from map 1 into map 2. Everybody with the vector seems to be playing like a god. But unfortunately, this time Arthur gets the better. The Maverick getting the jump up onto the Goyo. But time's running out a bit on the slower side, because it's 40 seconds left for them to play with. Only 2 attackers available. The peek in the corner, Hell gets picked onto Arthur. On the other side, the fight's going down. A lot of HP loss. Vinci trying his best to stay alive. Not time, no position, no intel on his side. And oh, the one shot, the one tap coming in from Hell with the Deagle in hand. Just a very clear tap. You just see him hiding in the corner. Put your crosshair onto his head. Take that kill. Take AMG. Start the map off in the kind of pace that they want to, given that they're 0-1 down in the series.
Yes, sir, and I would say, and the same kind of momentum that needs to be put up from the side of AMG has been shown in this round. But again, this is the very first round, folks, and we did saw madness on how the very first few rounds actually went in the favor of AMG in the last map of Border as well. And now, of course, the second floor side will be picked up. And I was kind of surprised, like basement side getting picked up for the very first round is something that you don't expect on a map like Nighthaven, but at the end, it is the decision of the team and the players. Of course, it is. We do have when it comes down to the second floor side, the players from the attacking team can actually take an approach from the northern side of the map, taking the control of the blue side, putting some air jabs, putting some claymores over there, just making sure they have the blue balcony control as well. But if they want to approach from the IT, they gotta open up the IT balcony breach, make sure that they also have some of these secondary players putting up a pressure, whoever trying to hold up from the catwalk. So things can be a little bit uncertain if you're not able to take the catwalk control as an attacker, but as a defender, you have tons and tons of advantage in terms of the vertical play, in terms of the overall utilities that you bring up from your operators, in terms of how you can put up some C4s into the mix. So as a defender, there's not a lot of trouble in terms of how you can actually block out the attacks coming off, just stop off the entire trigger amount coming off from the attackers. But as an attacker, you have to just make sure there's going to be a whole lot of angles, whole lot of scenarios which you just need to think and block all the possible outcomes. But at the moment, yes, there's going to be a little bit of that communication being enjoyed. EMP, it goes down. We do have Maverick blowtorch doing job. Shaitan though gets the pick on Vinci. Oh, that's a big one. Aqua thermal charge is going on, but Ace has been taken care of. The IT balcony gets open though. We do have someone from the defensive team actually trying to just play towards the doorway over there. But we do have also the push coming in from the exterior warehouse balcony. That's going to be Desmond.
4 versus 4. Shaitan and Vinci both out of the round. More importantly, this Helmet Charge is no longer available, given Ace has been knocked around. But oh, we're trying to head up into the corridor. That's the Grim coming to play, but Hell strikes first. Hell strikes true onto Desmond's skull, and Desmond ends up falling out. But look, this side, Arthur comes in for the refrag, gets it. He's trying to even go for more authority, double kill in the round for the Maverick. Around the corner, you can see there's a person already waiting for him. But oh, utility in-house. Sasaki is caught. Buckinator claiming that, getting the man advantage for the side of the attackers, for the side of Won't Stop Peeking. It's all up to that Bad Rat and Mayank to try and clutch this out. Oh, you catch the back of their Rumi over there. You don't get the kill, but Mayank actually strikes in over here. The bullet gave away the position, and Nicobrat strikes onto that Bad Rat. It's only Mayank left alone with the SMG, with the shotgun in hand to try and go for more. They're trying to pincer him, trying to locate exactly where is Mayank. Seems to have a bit of an inkling about where the opponents are, and the Vjammer prevents the Claymore actually from going off over here. But Mayank turns the corner, not even looking in the direction, unfortunately, of the Maverick. Maverick making quick work of that, securing that round for the side of WSP and equalizing what seems to be a very exciting map number 2.
Yeah, overall a really good play coming out from the side of AMG to just stop the entire push of WSP. But in the end, as we did have a Thurv and Cobra, just making sure that they're able to pick up the very first few frags, which can give them the overall advantage of like the frags coming onto the way, coming into the favor of WSP. Now, also talking about the fact that second floor side, continuing the conversation that I left off. Second floor side is something where attackers are kind of like they have to just do a whole lot of heavy utilization of some of these utilities, whether it comes to the aqua thermal charges coming down to the heart breachers, or Mavericks blowtorch in play, or whether you want to just pick out those non-howlers. We do see Desmond actually sorting up the Ash with the Grim at this point. So yeah, of course, as an attacker, you do have multiple options, but as in defenders, you just need to make sure that some of these angles towards the catwalk and some of these angles towards the connector room, which connects towards the server back, does not get open. The normal breach walls, when I'm talking about. Apart from that, attackers do have a certain bit of disadvantage when it comes down to all of these defenders who have multiple angles, multiple ways, just multiple and multiple ways to just stop the entire push. Of course, if somebody from the side of defenders are able to just to be taken care of very early from the side of attackers, which was the case in the first round as well. Even though MG was able to put it through, it was a little bit of that situation in round number 2, but the situation was traded from both sides. So in terms of how AMG has again decided to go on the second floor, and if there's going to be a similar approach from side WSP, I do feel AMG can counter top, but no, it's going to be a push coming out from the connector side. We do see the secondary heartbeat charge being used from side of Desmond. He's standing right there because he knows some of these common spots and default spots where the defenders can make sure that they're right there and put out some free fires. But for another docks are basically placed upon. We do have Vinci taking a little bit of that damage, not a whole lot of them. But we do have actually multiple attackers not actually pushing together, but we do have multiple attackers pushing from different areas of execution.
Seems like a 5 type of attack from all sides. They're trying to close in onto the bomb site, but now are finally actually meeting up together closer and closer. That they inch their way towards this side. We're just waiting for the flames to die down for us to enter over here, Desmond. We're trying to make our way in, but there's a lot of time to play with. No casualties on either side as of yet. Vinci's trying to pick up the first one over here. The peaks are not going to come in, but the Grim charges, the Hive Minds go in through the holes created with the secondary heartbeat charges over there, plus the Selmas coming into play. But nobody has fallen for either team's bait. No one's coming into anyone's crosses. They're both waiting. Game is being played, but Desmond strikes fast, but gets traded instantly by Mayank over here, trying to prone in the corner. The C4 comes in. He doesn't get the finishing frag, so Mayank gets the ending frag onto the corner, onto Arthrav over there. The Maverick was trying to run away, so good play coming in from the Mute, holding his best in the corner already. Like, he's doing God work, gets a 1 frag, gets the C4 frag. It's a 4 versus 3 for AMG versus WSP. WSP doesn't have much time. They're not playing like a team who has the much. And Chetan, another C4 gets the kill and Cobra. A triple kill for that by getting the pick onto Buckinator. Only Vinci left alive.
Lovely.
The Valkyrie's going to swing into his crossfire. Nice crossfire placement coming from the catwalk. A long range fight between Vinci, between Chetan. Chetan brings out the pistol, trying to go for one. Gets him on the second bullet. Shaitan coming up clutch against Vinci in the final events of the series, but a lot of interesting gunfights per se going on over here, but AMG at least coming out on top.
I would say again a very good defensive playthrough coming in from the side of AMG. I was still in the question, I kind of like doubted their decision that if you're not able to win out the second floor site, which is going to be the commander, so why you just want to go over there again? But they have completely kind of like proved me wrong in terms of how they're able to adapt to the entire scenarios coming up from the side of Won't Stop Peaking. Scenarios is one thing, adaptation is a complete different game, which you need on a map like Nighthaven Labs. We did have the swap being made. I guess it was not a smoke play coming around number 1. I'm not really sure. I'm not really recall. But we did have the smoke play coming in round number 3, which was very, very vital to stop out the entire push. The aggressive nature of WSP that we have seen in the previous map as well from the side of Westman and Athar. In this map, it is going to be a kind of like a similar story coming our way. I do love the fact that on how Shaitan is being so committed on picking Khalid and Mayank. Actually, Mayank and both Dead or Bad being flexible in taking sometime around. We have seen them picking up Defender, did have smokes in the last play. Sasaki being picked up with the Vector play. Of course, we do have just, like two operatives who have the Vector, who has the choice of the Vector. One is the Goyo and the second is Mira. Mira is right now banned, so of course the Goyo bulk of canisters will be getting picked up. So right at the moment, I do see the adaptation in terms of the operators as well, on how they are being very flexible in terms of the overall operator meta, and also for the fact that on how they're actually able to play as a unit and stop the aggression of won't stop peaking. As it is going to be the basement push, yes, towards the delivery and exterior workshop side, you have to make sure that you are landing those EMP nades right. You have to just make sure that you are getting those aqua thermal charges being done up. But we do have the Maverick Go Torch also doing his job. And aqua thermal charges will open up the wall though. The first thing comes up inside of Aruni. I guess he didn't see him though, but Aruni has an idea that Maverick is right up playing the corner. Stun nades being inside. We don't have the push being played though. I don't see any attackers also making the way for the vertical play. So, okay. Maybe a little bit of that. Everybody just making sure that they get up the opening on IT. But Dead Rat Bat gets taken care of from the side of Desmet as Brava drones come into the picture. They will try their level best to disable those Dreadnought mines and also the claws.
Yeah, but oh my god, the drone seems invincible. Finally ends up going now. Shaitan finally gets his target, albeit being just a drone. Atrav's taking quite a bit of beating as the Maverick over here trying to cut it away even more, trying to make it basically a doorway over here for his team to enter into, and that's what exactly they're trying to look for the play. But around the corner, the Fender is walking up close by.
What?
They have to be careful about the Fender. I'm not quite sure how this Fender is like this, but oh my god, Andy Cobra actually strikes up to Mayank. The Fender, who's looking to peek in, unfortunately gets his head completely taken off his shoulders. For now, this is a bit of a case that I'm not quite sure how it exists in front of our eyes, but that's exactly how it seems to be right now.
I'm so sorry to cut you. It's not a glitch. It was a little of that round being off a thermal. But hey, that's what gets the pick on Shaitan. It's gonna make a 2v5 though. And Sasaki, nobody has a C4 though, so you know, most of them needs to make sure that they win up those gunfights and be in a very secured angle.
Secured angle indeed, but now Sasaki and Hell left in a pretty much impossible 2 versus 5. But Hell has been on one if he's looking to make more back. This could be the spot. He already gets the knockdown onto Desmond. Hell gets the kill through the Goyos. In fact, the diffuser is going down. Hell actually goes down to the ground as well. He's injured. Sasaki, all that is left of AMG in a 1 versus the diffuser, still not on the ground, still not planted. Finally, WSP has picked it up yet again. They're trying to go maybe for another plant. The pings are coming in. Sasaki is low on HP. This doesn't seem doable. Finally, Nikobra going for the tip taps of the keyboard. A pre-fire around the corner for Sasaki doesn't connect. He has to go for these kind of plays. He doesn't have the HP around with which to play with. But Vinci with a long rotation from above, and Nikobra just gonna sit down in the spot. Sasaki trying even more pre-fire is not going to work out. The hatch is not open, so it looks like Vinci has to go even more of a rotation mark. But Andy Cobra in the prone position catches out onto Sasaki as Sasaki comes around the corner, trying to pre-fire yet again. This time, it was his own death that he faced.
Now, this time around, I gotta say for the fact that AndroMeda was kind of like getting overexcited, though. This was a very basic and a very, how do I put it, very usual methodical play, you know, from the side of, what do you call, Won't Stop Picking. Sorry, extremely sorry, I'm forgetting the names, dude. But yeah, from the side of Won't Stop Picking, this was a very usual push that you do towards the side of basement, getting the control of the assembly, opening up the animus room, getting the breach on assembly, delivery side as well. One of the basic, the least basic thing that you can do, it was that play. And of course, when the basic methodical play is happening on the right side for your team, you don't want to change it. But for the side of AMG, one thing I was able to observe, there was just only one C4 getting equipped from the entire team in the last round as well. This is something which is, I would not say a huge problem when it comes down to the overall play, but you actually need more than one C4 though. This time around, I only see Shaitan being with player equipping up the Bandit as the selection, and you do have the secondary utility choice of using up a C4. Other than that, there's going to be nobody who's going to equip up the C4, and C4 is something that you need, especially if you are, you know, playing on the assembly area. If somebody's trying to open up the assembly delivery, that's going to be a huge breach, which was the case in the last time as well. We do have, I guess it was Mayank, or it was the side of Dead Rat Bat was trying to, you know, just pick on the cheeky corners, and he got traded up from the side of third. So of course you need a little bit of that more C4s if you want to just go for the trial and error method. If you just want to bounce it off, do up your lucky charm thingy. What if it catches on? Because both these sides, Animus and assembly delivery, it's going to be every time around, it's going to be more than one attacker to take care of the breach as well, and to take care of the crossfire angles as well. But for now, as you proceed on round number 5, the basic strat again comes up. We do have Brava picking up from the side of Desmond, and Desmond will be the guy in the last round to take up that first kill. But this time around, it's going to be Shaitan take care of a third. No more blowtorch being in the play. But at the point of this very first pick, we do have somebody from the side of the defense also making sure that they are playing on the vertical angles. If they are actually able to go for the default plant, they can actually do the vertical shots to stop it.
Yeah, and not advice from Arthur. They had the opening that we opened at a pretty good pace from the side of WSP to go for the fight. But in the meantime, another fight being taken by Tez when he gets chunked away quite significantly. Albeit Shaitan just sitting in the corner, the benefactor of the first kill of the round. A bit more rotations trying to be created up, trying to enter into side from the side of the round. Desmond now with a nice angle, but Shaitan gonna pick onto Buccaneer. A double for him, a double for the side of AMG, but Maya makes that a triple for the side of AMG. Vinci ends up going down. Shaitan tries to go for more this time. Andy Cobra says no, but that is Andy Cobra very, very low on HP after that fight, and that's going to be Desmond going down. Andy Cobra still with that very little amount of HP tries to go behind, tries to pick up his teammate, but that bad rat ends up striking for his team, and because the last guy was knocked out, you're not going to see it there in the replay, but good work coming from the side of AMG to shut down WSP in this round.
Yeah, and this was one of attackers trying to do the same thing what they did in the last round, and this time around the defensive side will be more than ready to just understand the fact that hey, you're gonna open up the animus room, you're gonna open up the assembly delivery area, the assembly breach. We are just gonna make sure that we place up two of our defenders upon the vertical shots to deny the vertical control and also sometimes get the vertical advantage, and also make sure that we are more than ready to stop onto the push coming from Animus. And again, Animus and assembly, the entire room, and Animus is of course inside the objective, and Animus is outside the map right now, folks. If you are wondering what I'm saying so much about the Animus part, because Animus is a very, very compact room, very small room. Even if one of the defenders are able to lock in that C4 at the right spot, the entire team can go down. And this is something where attackers need to be a little bit more careful. If you're trying to push down to some of these very close quarter combat areas, you need to make sure that you are more than ready to risk it all for a bigger reward. Now for round number 6, we do have the second core objective coming into the play, which is going to be, of course, the command and servers. On the attacking side, we have Buckinator going up with Twitch, a third sticking up to Maverick, Desmond with the sledgehammers and a couple of nades as well. Vinci on the... Actually, there's only just Vinci playing with the Echo Thermal Charges, of course. The third blowtorch can also do a whole lot of tricks to open up the wall though. But Cobra being equipped with the Thatcher, the big man, the big guy with the main EMP nades. So on towards the defensive side, it's going to be the usual play and the usual operator picks. The only change that I see from the last couple of rounds is going to be Mayank playing on the mute SMG11, Asaki also playing on the SMG11, but he's using up the smoke toxic babe. On towards the 90 hallway right up here in the lobby says we do have the very minute engagement which can actually go down though. Couple of cheeky aims and shotgun connects. Desmond goes down. That's a huge pick. And we have seen how Desmond can be so crucial to take those heavy frags for the side of WSP.
A long-range shotgun from Sasaki, and Sasaki was eating quite a bit of damage, had to run completely away, and unfortunate for him, but that's such a long-range shotgun. That's the shotgun coming to play. Desmond did not expect that shotgun shell would be his demise in rap number 6, the last round of defense over here for the side of AMG. And Sasaki getting the first frag. Oh, Selva Chargers have opened up a framework over here of long-range flashbang, gets eaten up by the Rumi Gate, creeping around the corner just behind the desk is a certain someone trying to get the frag, but look at Vinci's position. Vinci's in from behind essentially over here, trying to make his way in progress. He's going to even maybe put down a Claymore charge for the behind flag, and he's actually going to be putting down 2 in fact over there. Then from the breach, but Shaitan with that soul C4, this time they burned in 2 C4s, this time they get a kill onto Vinci. But in the meantime, answer back, Hell gives up his life. That bad rat gets the kill onto Arthur as the trade just keep on going. But AMG still maintain that man advantage. 2 men more to the name. Andy Cobra and Buccaneer versus 4 to see if they can try. They're very healthy, while the side of that bad rat and Sasaki are very low on the HP mark as they try to make their approach. And Shaitan's even going to come back and put another bandit charge just there against the barricaded up wall. no progression being made from WSP, but I think this is the kind of time they have to start making the progression. And I don't think they expect Sasaki in the corner with the shotgun. If Sasaki bites his time, he can even get 2 from this spot. It's a nice bait coming in from Mike across the ground, but Buccaneer expects Sasaki in the corner, gets the frag, gets the head prone, and even expects the man prone. In blink of an eye, it's a 2 versus 2 with a quick 2 kills from Buccaneer on both the shotgun brothers over there. Shaitan gets the first kill onto ND Cobra. Shaitan and that bad rat against just Buccaneer, but Buccaneer is the guy with the 2 friends. He can't get any more. Shaitan with the swing, with that headshot. The MP7 coming to life, expecting the prone position, and unfortunate for the side of Buccaneer, he can't come out on top of that. AMG gonna get the last round of defense that they had heading into the second half of this map, with them being that 4-2 lead.
Yeah, very
Now,
crucial one though, because yeah, please go ahead.
No, it's fine. Yes, Bullet, take over.
Yeah, them being losing on map number 1 is something that they will be very happy with, and them just making sure that they're getting the every possible advantage that they can actually do. So it's great to see them being on, of course, the lead for the second half, but also talking about the fact that on how some of these players from the side of Won't Stop peaking are using the same strat over and over again is also giving up a whole lot of opportunities for the side of AndroMeda Gaming in their side of defense to make sure they are able to stop the entire playthrough. Now talking about the side of AMG, it's going to be a huge challenge because Valkyrie and Aqua Thermal charges from the side of Ace and the Exothermic charges, both the main hard features have been taken care of. Now you do have the secondary beat charges, you do have Ivana carrier spread in the play, but it kind of like challenges you to a certain extent if the defensive team Won't Stop peeking goes for the second floor objective. To open some of these catwalk angles, to open some of these controls, which is going to be the push from the the top blue stairs. If you want to just make sure that you get the breach open up on the command hallway, even if you want to just make sure that you are getting the angles open up towards the connector, you actually need some of these aqua thermal charges. Now Ace being taken care of alongside Thermite, yes, for a momentarily it's gonna stop the push of AMG to a certain extent for a certain 10 to 15 seconds compared to what aqua thermal charges and exothermic charges can do quickly. But on the moment, on towards the other side, for the side of WSP, they also need to make sure that if you ban up the soft targets of hard breachers, they're gonna pick up those shields and they're gonna come at your faces very hard. And that is what Dead Brat had and the entire team, I guess, they have thought in the entire process. You do have Blackbeard coming in the mix. You do have Flores, Red Hero drones being picked up. Sasaki going up with the Dokebi. This looks like a very stacked, heavy attack coming off from the side of AMG.
AMG trying to make quick progress. They still have a lot on the clock to play with, and that's the Blackbeard. First time we're going to see him in this lower bracket round 1 over here. So it's going to be that better pilot. We saw what he could do with the blitz, so expecting big things coming up with him, bringing in an even bigger shield to try and deal with the pesking using that WSP, trying to get the map reversal kind of in terms of selection of hardware, trying to take us to map number 3 to the side of MG. They've already got a nice substantial breather kind of buffer that they've created for themselves. Sasaki going for the call, and now everybody ring away in WSP. I guess the first kill is going to be on Arthur. It's going to be onto the kite. Unfortunately, the nades are going to rain in from the little, kind of rotation here on the side. He's going to try and enter through, I think so, very shortly over with the man advantage from the side of AMG. WSP looking a bit desperate to try and start the defensive half for themselves correctly, and it doesn't look to be getting any better. Hell gets another pick up onto Vinci. That's both the electrics out of the way, but Desmond in the meantime actually picks up the kill onto Hell, trying to answer back. And we expect the same theatrics that Desmond showed us in map number 1 to take his team all the way with that victory. Long range fight. Desmond losing quite a bit of HP, gets the kill onto Dapper. A flick onto the skull right there, over there onto the Blackbeard, completely neutralizing over here for the side of WSP. This is looking amazing for them right now, Bullet.
Great spray transfer and control coming out from the side of Desmond. Both of the defenders are kind of like stacked against each other though at the command center. So they gotta make sure nobody pushes down from the server, or if nobody pushes down from command hallway, if somebody is actually getting up an angle, they can be in a huge trouble. We do see Tokebi, getting played inside of Sasaki, trying a little best to put up some wall bangable shots and just trying to make up an angle on towards the player, which is going to be, of course, this man Buckinator. But on the other hand, Cobra is going to be on the three anchor parts of the servers. We do have the anchor getting exposed, though Cobra gets the pick on Shaitan. Here comes 5 seconds left on the clock, making a 2v2. Desmond gets a second, gets a third! Desmond, again, being the guy to actually dissipate the entire team. Did he just flank? Oh, yes, he did! What?
Yeah, he did.
And how did we miss that?
He definitely came in with that flank over on the side. He coming up huge like we want him to, like AMG definitely do not want him to. But yeah, Desmond doing works for the side of WSP. We saw it in map number 1. We get to see it in map number 2. The flank that both Bullet and I technically both missed on the way coming up. That's how sneaky it was. And he comes up very big for his side when they required it the most. I was even talking before he was giving the third. If Desmond has anything to say about it, we are going to see maybe WSP try to take this 2-0. The kind of performances this man is putting on time and time again, consistently, round after round.
Yeah, I guess it was the hatch getting up open in the very last seconds, and they kind of decided, hey, Buckinator, you gotta stay alive for a moment over here, and I'm just gonna go flank the entire team. Again, most of these guys, which is getting picked up from the side of AMG, doesn't have the chance, doesn't have the actually option to equip the Claymore. So even if they had Claymores, they were actually taken care of or was used potentially in different doorways. For the moment now, we do have Mayank going up with the Ash and 2 Claymores getting equipped though. But other than that, look at the frag. They have more than 6 frag. Actually, what they have, yeah, exactly to be 6 frags, which have been equipped from the entirety of Red Rat Bat, Hell playing on the Slash, Shaitan playing on the Striker. So, as the defensive side is on towards the basement, we can expect a whole lot of the vertical play coming out from the both sides. Shaitan gets the pick on Buckinator. They didn't have any single idea that they are already inside the map. And we do have a very fast approach, very fast-paced progress being taken and being made from the side of AMG now.
AMG definitely, and you're trying to get the the barbed wire on the ship. The sound's gonna be given over the car in the corner to the side of that better. He's trying to go for the fire, but the guy swing out gets the kill on Sasaki, and he's trying to go for the Blackbeard. He's reloading the corner. The diffuser is down. They have all inside eyes from the side of WSP. This could be the round that they really require to actually neutralize it with the diffuser at the doorstep. With the piece coming in, Mayang gets one, but Mayang goes down as well. But in the meantime, Shaitan going to be coming up huge. Even going to be picking up that bad rat around the corner. Is coming in the corner. Is he coming in time enough? No, it is not. The Shaitan gets both. Shaitan getting all towards the end. The base switch up technically with the Blackbeard waiting on his other teammate. He gets 2 in the line of fire, and that is going to be AMG locking in another for themselves.
This was more of like an overexcited state of play coming up from side. Won't stop picking. You don't want to just peek along like that when you already have the information that there's going to be one guy down. So there was a little bit of that panic, in my opinion, madness from the side of WSP. They did have the chance to just pop up a C4. If they didn't have pop a C4, just play on their patience game, man. Attackers are gonna come off to your side. You as a defender don't need to kind of like over-aggressively peek towards the side of the attacker, especially when you have the a lot of the time being left out from your side. But even though it is going to be just one round away for the side of AMG to be on the map point series against WSP, this is exactly the kind of like the same court scenario which was the case of map number 1. So both the teams playing on actually almost winning on their own map pick. Again, opponent's map pick is something that you always gotta expect in our region, but sometimes also it's the extraordinary play. Love to see the observers giving us the cinematic view of these 2 walls right up here between the side of side A and bomb B side. But anyway, so jokes apart, this is can be the similar case because WSP had decided to go toward the basement side. If AMG are actually going to pull through towards the Animus room and assembly delivery area, which can be the usual methodical play that you see on towards the basement side. But I love to see somebody from the side of AMG actually trying to go through toward the first floor and give some of these roaming defenders a challenge and a run for their money.
They are going to be trying to, but now we can see AMG maybe a bit slower compared to the way entry that side, but this time the Maverick doing work, opening the bottom side of the reinforced wall. We're going to see actual Maverick coming into play. We just used to see him try to make a bit of holes and then try to do damage with that. But look again, same thing for that bad right with the long range angle with the AK in hand. Sees the barbed wire even getting placed over here, and with this Maverick sound, Rumi definitely knows what is around her, sees the bottom side, looks, knows that somebody is probably waiting, not going to give that first peek, but every single defender's phone is ringing. But what is actually wrong is Sasaki's head as Buckinator takes that one. You can see the fuse charge even getting placed over here. This might be a walk into the corners of Hell's crosshair, but Hell unfortunately could not pass. But in the meantime, Shaitan gets the return frag onto Buckinator elsewhere into the map. Arthur gets the first kill onto Shaitan. As a return comes in from WSP, they are not done. The defenders are now trying to fight back from their side, trying to put AMG down, trying to slow down their progress, trying to prevent it all here in map number 2.
Yeah. For the moment now, it's going to be a 3v4 though. No more logic bombs in play, no more attack. What a shot from Dead Rat Bat. Playing as Fuse, and AK is going to give you a whole lot of advantage though. Because AK-12, one of the best guns in the game right now. A third doesn't have the C4 though. Still alive to kind of like pull up that 2v3 and 1v3 if he gets the chance and opportunity to do so. 35 seconds left on the clock. We do have Vinci. Look at him. Coming up with the flank. If there are no more drones, actually, drones not being at the right spot from the side of AMG, he can be the game changer, the round, which can take a different turn though for the side of WSP. Desmond gets the pick on Wang, he's gonna just back off, making sure that he's able to provide that vital support though. Fuse is just trying to swing by through the angles. Not gonna happen. 25 seconds left on the clock. Desmond has the upper hand advantage in terms of just holding up the pre-fire angle though, which is towards the exterior breach over there. He's able to anticipate. Yes, he is definitely able to. Fuse gets in. Yes, he knows the information. Oh! Fuse gets the picks on Desmond. Tough gets a trade. It's going to be a 1v2 now. Striker, Hell left out in a 1v2 spot. He gets inside. I'm not really sure if he can does it. No, not going to happen. A third picks the final pick. And it's going to be WSP winning out the round number 9. And it's going to be a 5-4 score line. Still, just one round away for the side of AMG to be on map point.
Yeah, but WSP, nice coming back into the round across the corner. That is a lot of work put in by the guy towards the ending seconds in that, and coming up pretty clutch, honestly, for his team, helping WSP out. And Desmond, yet again, Desmond, I think he got a double in that round. That's the way the round was looking for him, and he did quite significantly well. That better tried to make his approach alongside Hell, but unfortunately for the AMG, their attack this time was for naught. It was cut down in its way. The better still going to be opting to bring in the Blackbeard, and as it turns out, we're gonna have the Melusi, the Maverick getting banned out, so no more Maverick holes for the side of WSP to actually deal with over here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
This time around is going to be the the second floor objective being picked up on the side of WSP, which is of course the similar play style which is connected. Somebody from the side of attacking team trying to take control of the top blue stairs. Somebody from the side of attackers trying to take control of the catwalk. Somebody from the side of attackers trying to push down towards connector. Other than that, yes, you might expect somebody. I mean, this has been the case with a lot of the tier 2 teams being in the region of NA. I also saw in the EML as well. I guess it was the match. I'm not, to be frankly speaking, I'm not able to remember the names though, but I did saw a lot of the teams from this in the EML competition of last R6. They were actually playing a whole lot of vertical against this side, which is of course the right thing to do when you have operators like a third playing on the frost map with the shield, and of course Cobra playing on the Rooney, because these two operators will of course not be a very roam heavy kind of like the setup that they want to, but actually just being just anchored toward one of the specific angles, either in the connector, either in towards the other side, and making sure nobody just comes and swing inside the objective. So in this kind of in that kind of situation, yes, you will definitely expect somebody from the attackers to play on the vertical, not advantage to be specific, word to be specific I want to say, but on towards just making up life a little bit harder for the defenders playing as the anchors, around the bomb corners, around the specific angles, just just making them unnecessarily move around so they can get overexposed by few of these attackers holding on to different objective angles. For now, them doing a whole lot of the drone work and them trying to just plan a recon onto that information. We do have two set of different attackers approaching from two different execution areas. Sasaki gets a pick on Desmond. That's going to be a huge pick though, because no more Kiba barriers in play. I guess the catwalk control has been given away though. Yes, the catwalk control has been given away. Mayank gets the pick on a third. Slowly and steadily, the entire team of WSP is going to fall like a deck of cards though, because everybody are making sure they get the entry on the server area.
There he is, with 10 Buckinator, the lone survivor of WSP. He has to do something to prevent AMG from getting what seems to be a flawless round the way it stands. Flawless no more as Buckinator gets the first kill on the Sasaki, but instantly traded out by Mayank over there. That's going to be putting AMG firmly and securely in to map point for themselves over here. Remind you guys, if you guys missed out, this is map number 2 over here. WSP won the first map, which was AMG's pick of border. Now on WSP's map, it looks like AMG is going to be doing the reverse kind of situation. They just need one more. They have actually, honestly, 2 more chances before it even goes to overtime. So they have a lot to actually play around with. They play comfortably, but that's not the side AMG goes for. They go for full-on aggression. A lot is it behind that Blackbeard trying to march it in over here. And WSP has to prevent maybe some of these breaches going on, especially if you're bringing in a bandit with the Maverick Band, but they could not do it. And this time, NT Cobra is going to be bringing out the Fenrir, and we see a Warden make an appearance over here, Bullet.
Let's just like wait and watch. In my opinion, this can go either way, to be frankly speaking. Either this can go toward the side of WSP, doing up the reverse sweep, which can be a very hard one, which can be a very big one. But also for the fact that this can be a big two coming over the side of AMG with a 7-4 score line on map number 2. And then on how I anticipated and how I kind of like predicted that this will be, of course, this will be that one map which can go all the way over to the decider map. So let's see, because at this point of time, it will be a little bit early to anticipate. If this goes on to 6-5, it can still very be much the case of AMG just making sure that they get the victory on this map, because all they just need is just that one round that they want to just swipe it out from onto their side, just one round to just close out in a 7-4 or 7-5 score line. But at this point of time, if WSP are able to do a 6-6, winning out 2 back-to-back rounds of their defense is something where AMG will be in a very surprising, surprising blow onto their face, that they gotta, restart, not like exactly restart, but play on these overtime situations. But for now, folks, we do have the exterior breach getting opened on towards the connector, and towards we do have the IT balcony work being done as well. But last time around, we did saw how WSP were able to give away the control of catwalk very, very early, and that was a big pointer though. Oh, shotgun right on the face of Blackbeard. Oh, it's gonna be second one as well. It was the bait. A top gets a double, and AMG will be very, very surprised to lose out 2 guys and 2 important ones. No more air jabs, no more Blackbeard shield.
That was a nice bait and switch coming in over there. The Jaeger from the stairs pounces onto the targets that were not anticipating over. Desmond trying to do it and did it so successfully as the bait. And he gets another with the pickup onto her. WSP are not out of map number 2 yet. And this round number 11 is surely showing us why. That is a very quick word they made over here. But Shaitan finally answering back for the side of AMG, gets the pick up onto Buccaneers, having a bit of a sleeper game, if I say so myself, a man of his caliber. But Desmond with the C4 gets his second of the round, a double kill with the pickup onto Shaitan. Sasaki, the only man alive for AMG, and he is not alive for much longer. ND Cobra from above the railings gets the pickup onto the corner, gets the kill onto the Grim, gets the kill that they need for the side of us to go to the rounds of 1, as Blackjack likes to say it over here.
Yeah, 1 by 1 is going to be the mindset of WSP right now if they want to just, push it down towards the overtime. which is a little bit hard, but of course, very much doable, and of course, not a very kind of like an impossible state of things. But a huge, I would say, credit goes to the side of Desmond, Wincy, and a third on how they were able to pick up every other guy from the side of AMG one by one. WSP now picking up towards basement side, which is of course going to be the assembly and the tank area. We have seen numerous occasions that both AMG also losing onto their attacking side and WSP also doing some of the basic mistakes and doing the same with off that scenario. I'd love to see again MG trying to play on the vertical control, them trying to just hunt down all of these roam based operators if they decide to roam up on the second floor and the first floor, but if not, I guess it is going to be a shutdown from the side of AMG in this particular objective, because in terms of how no, maybe I said that early. Vinci has in Cupcan, Desmond on Aruni, Cobra on Dreadnought Mine. Okay, the trap meta is on.
Yeah, a lot of traps coming in from the side of WSP, and they brought in 2 electrics, albeit as well. They have the kite and the bandit, and look at the kite. He's trying to trick his way to glory here in the side next to the animals, trying for it so, but we're more wary with the side of hell. If we're on that striker, we're not going to be placing it down over. We're just repeated rinse and repeat process from the kite from the side of Arthur. But in the meantime, the side of AMG has people looking towards the 2F side. They're already starting to make it. That's what we're talking from the 2F all the way to the basement side that you can see. This is the kind of play that AMG looks to be making over here. The Fender does have the F-nets if he wants to spring them up to glory. But right now, it looks like Shaitan alongside Sasaki are trying to get that vertical play up and going. For now, 2 minutes left for the side of them to do anything, and it looks like WSP are trying to get progress. Look where the guide is over here, Bullet.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if the player is able to pick out just one, but the problem is he has already seen the C4, and the C4 has kind of like wasted, so there's going to be some C4 which is from the side of Buckinator, and this is what I wanted to see, and I love to see MG playing up another vertical control. Them just making sure that slowly and steadily, if they are able to open all possible line of sights, the defenders will be left out in a very chaotic situation to just make sure that they are protecting themselves from every other crossfire angles. But the problem is that they also gotta make sure that they get the pick on Vinci and Athar, who's right now playing on the vending stairs, and Vinci up on BCC hallway on the second floor. I guess Shaitan will be the guy playing on the SRX, and them just making sure that air jabs are being deployed in the right spot to deny the flank and the aggressive push from either of these operators. But still though, with 5 seconds left on the clock, we still have to wait for the execution play to happen from the side of AMG.
AMG taking their time, honestly. No casualty means a lot from given how much aggression we try. That's the importance of this round of 1 that is going to be happening. Is round number 12 in map number 2 is coming to its conclusion very shortly over here. No casualties on this side, albeit for the kite losing a bit of his HP. Arthur has to be a bit careful of his position, but that actually takes quite a beating on the other side. If you could not see over here, it was the F-nats that did distracting. Maya gets the first kill onto ND Cobra over here. They're trying to put even more aggression on, but the return track comes in. Desmond gets the kill onto the Blackbird, who is already low, and Desmond has to run away to glory, but still gets caught out. Vinci gets the kill onto Mayank as well. So it's a 3 versus 3. The last 10 seconds over here, AMG have to make their push. They are planting the diffuser around the corner. That's exactly what the striker is doing. Buccaneer gets the kill onto Sasaki. On the other side, he can't stop the plan. Shaitan gets the kill. It's a 2 versus 2. The dropper comes in. Vinci gets the kill onto Hell. The instant trade by Shaitan. It's the guide and the nomad in a 1 versus 1. The C4 as a distraction is enough. It looks like us. Arthrav coming up on top, taking us to overtime over here, ladies and gentlemen.
And boy, how Blackjack likes to say it. Of course, I cannot clone him, but it's time for overtime right up here from the side of Won't Stop peeking. A great deniability from the side of Vinci, but of course, he was not able to do much because he was immediately taken care of from the side of Shaitan though up in the end. But a great play in the end coming up from side of Thur. Even though him actually not able to put up and the C4 on the right side, he was just able to definitely disorientate for a moment, just kind of like towards the last guy just standing over there in the Animus room, just making sure his focus completely gets interchanged to a different angle. But Also for the fact that him using an ARX, we all know how less amount of bullets ARX has compared to other assault rifles and SMG into the game. Not exactly SMGs that you do have for the attacker side, but most of the assault rifles for the side of attackers. So that will be the case, and I think it's going to be a pause being in play from the side of both teams. So I guess, yeah, probably there's going to be a lot of that side switch not being on the right side, but nonetheless, it is going to be the overtime in play from the side of WSP, which of course is going to be the huge credit being in play for the side of Desmond, Wincy, and Athar. Of course, I want to say for the fact that, of course, the side of Cobra and Buckinator also contribute to the entire play, but these three guys were the superheroes of the last round, to be specifically saying, because if that was not exactly the case, that if them not being able to push on to overtime, it would have been the victory, a map to victory being in play from the side of AndroMeda at this map. But at this point of time, it's going to be a 6-6, and I guess it's just going to be an rehost coming in play.
It is kind of looking like they seem to be arguing about what is going on, about who gets exactly what, given with WSP's map pick over here. But unfortunately, it seems that they don't seem to be reaching a conclusion. We are going on to the rehost select, but there's been a ton of action so far. Shaitan has left the game. Yes, it's looking like we're going to have a rehost, ladies and gentlemen, over here. We're going to have what seems to be a pause coming up, and this is just as it was getting so climatic over here, with us going into overtime, with us getting ready to rumble. But unfortunately, it seems that we're going to have to put a slight hiatus on that before we can actually manipulate ourselves into an overtime, see which way map 2 goes, because it's pretty much of a map that can go either way depending on which way it goes. It's WSP winning out 2-0 or us going to map 3 over here, Bullet.
In my opinion, it is going to be the map number 3, very much in play, to be frankly speaking. But for now, folks, it's going to be Blackjack joining us back at the casting desk as the analyst. Blackjack, of course, you gotta tell your thoughts, man. Do you expected this to go in OT? Did you expect it was AMG victory? Please shower us with the knowledge.
I mean, I'm going to be very, very honest here. After the first map, how it went to all the way to 7-5, part of me definitely expected overtime here in map number 2. I will agree with you there, Bullet. But looks like I'm going to have to, pause my thoughts here. There's so much I want to say about this game so far. But in due time, folks, as we will, looks like, have to go for a quick break while we get the lobby rehosted and reformed. So until then, stay tuned. That waiting room door to try and support, but at the same time, there's only so much you can do. But there's not going to be a initiation. Not the best thing to happen right now, as it's going to chip away a little bit more. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege here at Fragnation alongside Ubisoft. I'm your host, the FPS Division Blackjack, alongside Bullet and Madness, as we are back once again for map number 2 in this lower bracket best of 3 playoffs match for the Community Series. Won't Stop Peaking and AndroMeda Gaming are going toe-to-toe and head-to-head, and every single other body part you can imagine in this matchup, because folks, it is 6-6. It is overtime, and we just had to take a quick break because there were certain things about the lobby that were unfortunately incorrect, but they have been recorrected, and we're getting right back into it with AMG on the attack and Won't Stop Peaking on the defense. So once again, much like last time, Bullet, Madness, I'm going to let you guys take it over from here with this first attack. Madness, take us in.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. We're heading into overtime. A good build-up between the rounds leading up to this point. Between round, we won't play.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah. There was an ace ban, I guess, that has been selected wrongly, but it has been kind of like mutually decided between the teams that they won't pick ace. But
Okay.
Yeah. It is what it is at this first time. It's going to be a 6-6 score line, and we are in overtime rounds, Madness. And to the fact that Won't Stop Peaking has kind of like been able, especially in terms of the overall 2v4 situation or 3v4 situation as well, being able to just hold yourself up in the defensive rounds and just making sure that even your last guy, whether it's be a Turf, whether it's be Cobra, whether it's be Vinci of course, the majority of the times we have seen him flanking with a cup can and placing up these booby traps all across the doorways. Everybody from the side of WSP are actually able to give their level best and actually able to just stop the entire aggressive nature, not exactly the aggressive nature, but the attacking play from the side of AMG in a very, very right manner. For the side of AMG, yes, their overall approach looks really good. The gunfight, the amount of gunfights that they have at Initiator and one is also up on the right side, but looks like a very, very fast rush approach. Vinci gets set up, but there goes Sasaki and Hell. Both goes down. Them not droning, them just throwing at it is gonna cost them a lot in this overtime round. Not the right thing to do in my opinion, honestly, Madness. Just rushing on through it towards the cargo stairs and not being very sure where the rumors are at. But man gets the pick on Cobra, making this a 3v4.
Making 3v4, making that a 4 versus 2, making them 4 versus 1 as Atraf gets one after another, and that is enough for him to secure the round for WSP, to put them into overtime match point heading in here in overtime. This is WSP with the restoration. WSP one round away from securing the series 2-0. AMG one round away from trying to take us again to double overtime to make us possible of taking us to around map number 3. But the way they entered this attack from the side of AMG. This is not like a team. This is not looking like a team that's determined to win out rounds.
To be frankly speaking, it was kind of given away from the side of AMG. Don't get me wrong though. You're not being very sure where the cargo stairs guys are at, or
Defenders, protect your bombs
you
from
just
being
not being
defused by
sure
attackers.
on how you just wanna give the control away, because it's a very not exactly a very common kind of like a play from the roamers spot that is going to be someone on the gaming hallway and towards the cafeteria area, but just cannot push like that. But anyways, for the side of at this moment, it's going to be an overtime match point, 7-6 score line. And for the time being now, it also comes down to the fact that Won't Stop Peaking has the upper hand advantage because they were the team to shut this out on the first map with 7-5. And if they're able to win it though, it's going to be a very close round score though, but a 2-0 score line. What do you have to say, Madness, about that? Do you think this is going to be a 2-0 map win from the side of WSP?
If the way that their last defense round went anything, I think it's going to be looking like it. But WSP, we're talking in chat with their opponents depending on how they want to enter and the kind of entry points that will be looking around. AMG unfortunately have slipped the bag on this one over here, let it out of the bag because they were 6-4 up against the side of WSP. They were looking to take us all the way to map 3. They had 2 chances, unfortunately unsuccessful, and then we're heading into overtime. First round not going there. We hear the Ash Charge already opening up avenues for the way of WSP in to the building over here. Mike's going to be bringing back the Aloe that we haven't seen much use of as of yet. We're hoping that he can come in. You remember the kills and deaths are because it's a rehost, guys, so everything looks like this topsy-turvy. But Desmond has been popping off in map number 2 as well as was in map number 1. He will be looking to try and help this out. Mayang with the quick pick gets the kill onto ND Cobra. He strikes fast. That's the Thatcher away over here. Drones were coming in. Drones have been destroyed, but hell pays the prices. Vinci capitalizes on the kill, makes it a 4 versus 4, make that a 4 versus 3 as Ursher catches another, and then he gets downed instantly by Sasaki from below, and that's the vertical play coming into play over here, Bullet.
Yep. Vinci still has the charge though. He has been pinged by the alibis, but he has to just wait for a while. Cobra! Aha! Mayank gets taken care of with the Cobra's Claymore. Oh my god, you just cannot give away those kills like that. Anyway, it's going to be a 3v2 now. Not really needed, but at this point of time, it's going to just give up a huge man advantage. A huge one in this kind of like scenario where we do have Buckinator playing it with the 2 Fragnate that he has. Toxic Bricks being in play, trying to stop the push from the IT side. Catwalk's control has been given away though, but there's going to be a huge bullet hole. It's not exactly a bullet hole though, a huge rotation being in play, which can be very vital for the side of Smoke Shoddy to just land up the shots towards the side of Buckinator. Dead Rat takes care of Buckinator as I speak. With I say left on the clock. Can this be a WSP victory, or we are pushing out towards the very last round? We will find it momentarily, folks. Skeleton Key getting faced up from the side. Desmond, huge risk though. Just what we got. He didn't saw the right guy. Just trying to hold it down. Vinci going to plant the diffuser right behind the server area. He has the control though. Skeleton Key getting a free. Gets the denied. Dead Rat is taken off. That's going to be a 1v1 now. No, it's going to be not a 1v1. Dead Rat gets both of them. And now it is going to be AMG to win round number 14 onto this side. And we are going to the very, very last round. Round number 15 in play, folks, to decide, is it going to be the decider map coming into the picture from the side of AMG, or is it going to be Won't Stop Peaking winning up the defensive side and winning up with this 8-7 scoreline?
Defense it is for the side of WSP to try and prove themselves. This is what they fought for so long before the use of which side gets that defense first, and we've reached the point where it does definitely matter. The Blackbeard getting picked up from the side of Mayang. We're going to see him bring that into utility from his side. But this is the end of the line, at least for map number 2. Either way you look at it, guys, we're at the silver scrapes heading into this. AMG can take us to map number 3 with a victory. Or WSP can close this one out right here, right now with a 2-0 in this series and knock AMG out of the competition. It's yet to be seen what it's going to be, but we might have double shields coming in over here, Bullet. We have Mayang already in the Blackbeard. We have that bad rat looking to be picking up the blitz, and this is where the Warden's effect might come in as well.
At this point of time, Agnes, on how
Not exactly a choke though, from the side of WSP in the last one. But we did saw in the very first overtime round number 13, AMG kind of like give it away. And towards the same instance, I can say for 10% of the entire push getting very wrong from the side of WSP in the last round. Oh, we do have someone coming out the side. Oh, a third. Trying to go for a run out though, but I'm not really sure if he was trying to exactly. Yeah, it was not because the site is not on the first floor. Just going to take care of that hatch outside the balcony, so he was just going in for a run out, it seems. At this point of time, we do have that red bear playing with the blitz. Mayank on the black beard, so 2 shields being in place. Sasaki with the Kawain Harvard launcher. Okay, this can be a little bit interesting because at this point of time, of course, you can just make sure that you have to take care of the Eli's getting picked from the side of Buckinator. You have to also make sure that Dreadnought mines are taken care of on towards Catwalk area. But when you have 2 shields, one can just apply a whole lot of brute force pressure on towards the blue hallway, which is exactly going to be the case. Blitz making sure towards the Catwalk area is going to be the play. The shield is going to be taken care of. Ian Candela is coming to the play from the side of Shaitan. Others can be very quickly getting over to the side of WSP or AMG will just brute force their way inside the site. We'll have to find out. But Buckinator gets the first pick on Shaitan. No more Candelas in place. The second one gets onto the piano state. Vinci confirms. And now, I think we have the answer to the question which I just asked.
Oh, but in the meantime, Vinci gets another on to Mayank. Only 2 members alive to keep up the hopes of AMG, and I don't think it might be enough. This is looking reminiscent of the round before this, where AMG were on the attack, where they made this kind of quick entry, where it was quickly snuffed out like the little flame it seems to be. That Vedrat with very less HP on this cat were not quite sure which way to progress. Hell, close by in case they want to do something. Now finally he's going to be walking up, but there's a Maestro cam waiting for the evil eye, going to be bouncing away. You have to be completely careful about which way you're going to look. And Hell is also no longer with his partner. It's a triple kill for Vinci. What seems to be the last round of map number 2. He gets blinded. That bad rat gets the kill onto him, but he's in a 1 versus 4 with less than 50% of his HP bar. He's trying for the long range. He's trying to flash, but that's a warden, my dear friend. That's a person you cannot flash, especially with those sunglasses up. He's going to try and go from a different path, a different avenue, but this is just looking like AMG clutching on the last straws of them in this competition. It's looking like WSP is about to eliminate AMG's. That bad rat is just waiting his time. Desmond says that's enough waiting. He gets the headshot. This is victory for WSP. GG's for them. They will be moving on. While unfortunately for AMG, that's the end of their journey in the playoffs.
Now, I gotta give a huge round of applause for the side of AMG as well, but that's going to be Won't Stop Baking, making their way towards the next bracket. I guess they're gonna battle out towards the losers of the number 8 matchup, which is, of course, either it is going to be the side of a Sea Warriors, either you, or it's going to be Blitzkrieg facing up the side of you, which is, of course, I guess there's going to be upper bracket semifinal, which is going to happen tomorrow. Or if I am just taking the day strong, you can just make sure to follow Fragnation and the Ubisoft India socials right up on their accounts to catch up all of the latest info on the matchups. Or even though, just make sure to join up the Discord for all the latest updates. But for now, folks, we have Blackjack back on the casting analyst desk. What do you have to say, Blackjack, on the second map? WSP winning it a 2-0 scoreline, but we gotta give the credit for the side of AMG pushing this all the way towards the last round. I guess we are not able to hear you, my friend. There's something wrong with your mic momentarily.
No, this time. Wait.
Yes.
Hold on. No, this time it was
back.
actually on me. No, because the thing is, right, on my microphone, there is a button interface where I get to mute my mic. So I had muted myself there, and I completely forgot about it. But with all that said, what I was saying is that big shout outs, big hats off right now, here and now, to the side of AndroMeda Gaming. They have played this game for a really long time. They are veterans of the seed scene, of course, but here now, bringing the team together and playing the way they have in these playoffs so far, what they showed us in Qualifier 2 and what they showed us tonight, this is a team to keep your eye on, folks. and I will absolutely am gutted to see them go. But such is the nature of competition. Eventually, you're going to run out of chances, and that is going to have to be your lesson for the next time. There will be a next time, of course, as evidenced by the fact that this tournament exists, and CGX's future is certainly looking a lot brighter than it was certainly a few years ago in our region. But all the meta text aside, let's break down this particular map that happened. Map number 2 was actually very different than what I was personally expecting from both of these teams. I was expecting almost all the rounds to be hyper aggressive, done within the minute 30 mark kind of rounds, right? That's the kind of team that Won't Stop Peaking is. That's what they've been known for years. Especially you put in members from Never Diamonds and then Kira Esports, of course, with the Thurv and Cobra, and so on and so forth. You're basically creating the perfect Shift W team. And I know we used to have Shift W Esports, don't get me started on them. But the point is, they are an aggressive team. They love playing aggressive. But the fact that they not only took us to 90-minute labs, which is not something I expected from them in the first place, but also that they played it actually really defensively, all things considered, that took me by surprise. Of course, here we have the statistics for map number 2, 90-minute labs here, folks. And as you can see, Desmond once again popping off, though not as hard. That was reserved for a Thurv going 18-9 total in the entire map. Shaitan 16-10 with a 3-1 on entry, by far probably the best all-round performance, followed up by Mayank at 13-12 and 2-0, and Desmond at 13-11 and 2-2. But of course, Cobra, the standout fragger for the game at 67% cost as well. Although Sasaki, despite going 7-13 and 40%, playing more of a mid-range pillar support role, had a 3-2 on entry. So Sasaki clearly had a lot to say in the beginning of a lot of rounds. But with that said, what do these statistics mean for us here and now? Well, what they show us is just how incredibly close this map was, just how incredibly far both teams went, because they knew that this matchup is pretty much their one chance, right? Tonight, here and now, had, say, Won't Stop Peaking lost, we'd be saying pretty much the exact same things, but for the other team. Won't Stop Peaking, here and now, they gave us quite the performance. Although I will say, there were moments where they were shaky. There were moments where they were a little bit too over-eager, over-excited, so to speak. And we saw that happen quite a bit. But here we have it, folks. The final statistics screen for the entire matchup. And tell me, Madness, is it any surprise that Desmond is leading the board at 35-18?
Desmond. This man, I think he is something that WSP can get their, get behind, because even Arthur coming up huge in map number 2 is no short saying he got, I think, 19 frags, like you were saying, right? That's a good kitty. But Desmond, in I think 4 rounds, was already at such a huge number. He was looking fantastic throughout this entire series. He had good support as well, but him and Arthur were the main talking points of this matchup of lower bracket round number 1 of this victory of WSP coming out on top, because both games were close, mind you, because given that it was 7-5 first game, then overtime all the way till that ultimate round in round number 15 where we actually got the victory. So I think it was a good competition. AMG put up a very, very good fight. Unfortunately for them, WSP one step in front of them this time.
Yeah, to be frankly speaking, yes, in a couple of the attacking play from the side of AndroMeda Gaming, I think there were huge lapses, especially in the very first overtime, round that we saw from their side, them just rushing on towards the cargo stairs and Vinci just picking them up, off guard. It's something that you don't expect. Also, it was there up in the round number 8 or I guess 10. I'm not able to exactly sure though. But when some of these guys were trying to push on towards the blue stairs control, they're trying to just make sure that they get the side of, I guess, Cobra. And on the end, it was a Thurf playing on towards the blue bottom stairs. And he just picked off back-to-back 2 kills. And both of the shield operators from the attacking side were just completely getting picked off like in a couple of seconds. So on the attacking play, there were like a couple of lapses that they need to take care of for the future events. But for now, I guess this was a very much deserving victory coming up for the side of Won't Stop Peaking.
Absolutely, it was. And I will say once again, Won't Stop Peaking, despite the few criticisms we've had, and they are criticisms that have kind of rung true for a really long time, They've given us a great show, and we look forward to seeing more of them in the future. For the side of AndroMeda Gaming, hats off to y'all once again. You gave us a great show, and we look forward to seeing what you have for us in the future. With that said, folks, that's going to do it here tonight for all of us at the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X with Fragnation and in partnership with Ubisoft. I've been your host, the FPS deficient Blackjack. That's the fourth time I've made that joke, alongside Madness and Bullet, and we'll be signing off for tonight. But don't worry, we're coming back with more Rainbow Six Siege tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned and good night.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.